How's it going? We got to jump right on in here. First and foremost, we got a pre-stream super chat from GN saying the state's bind-over brief hit on 7/28, providing all the evidence for anyone to read. Owens Coleman in damage control saying, see all the state's evidence. It helps defendant. Thoughts? I actually don't know anything about it. I'm out of the loop. I'm out of the loop on that. So what is happening there? Just out of curiosity. Let's see what's going on here. I haven't been on X for a little bit because I've been helping move some stuff for a great grandma. Actually, my great grandma-in-law, I guess you could say. So, yeah, you know, doing stuff, doing things. I'm a little bit sweaty, but we're here now. It's too freaking hot to be doing anything outside of a house. It is crazy. My wife also made me some delicious goulash. I have been excited for this for a while. So, I'm going to be eating happy today. We got Candace Owens pulled up. Go Max. Our Candy. Prayers from Uganda. Okay. That's hilarious. Here, let me full screen this. This is great. Yeah, look at this. I'll move myself out of the chat too. We can have a little bit of fun with this for a second. You know, King Charles is watching. Bald Beavis. What is that about? Day off from work today. Eagerly waiting to watch this live from Australia. So far, don't see any evidence that there are any Americans in this chat. Big hello from Vienna. Let's go, Max. That was spot on when Candace called them Beavis and Butthead. Who's them? When did she do that? AI is Satan's attempt of the HS. AI is the third member of Satan's Trinity. I don't know if that's the case or not. I don't know. No Kirk children exist. This person's insane, so she thinks that Charlie Kirk doesn't actually have children. That's going to get dangerous. If that at all gets spread around, if Candace Owens ever had to come out and say these kids are not Charlie Kirk's kids, I promise you, people will target his children. They will target his children. It's going to be the craziest crap. Hopefully, Candace isn't that insane. I never know. You know, you really never know. Why is chat disconnected? Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Should I just refresh? I guess I'll just refresh. What was that about? Connection issue. Everything okay there? Oh, yep. Now it's sprung back. That was weird. Very, very weird. Hopefully GN's in here. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much for that $20 super chat there. This is acting out like crazy, and I don't know what's going on. Now my chat's gone again. Oh, now it's back. Ugh. If the stream will make it. You never know. You never know what's going to set this stuff off, you know? No, I am disconnected from chat again. No idea what's going on. Wild. Hey, wait while we try to reconnect you. Is this a known issue? Back here and find out. We're going to see all our issues. We're going to look at these issues and not do a thing about it. Just no. No warnings on the channel or anything telling me that there's a problem with chats. But here we are. Odd. Anyway. Nolan Wells' death. Who's that? Who's Nolan Wells? Let me, not so fast as a lawyer and lifelong debater. Read it again. She never says she gets no support, no compensation, no coordination. Direct or indirect, she denies ties to the government. The phrase is doing a lot more work. Oh, yeah, she said something like, guys, I love Russia, but if I had ties to the government, I would just say so. I really don't. But it's so important to me that you know that if I did, you wouldn't be able to publicly shame me over it. I just tell everyone. So she's saying she would tell everyone without telling everybody. Isn't that interesting? Just wild.
Well,
what's this?
I did, briefly.
Why is it so
He's going
quiet?
to have to mention it because it's killing your country.
Mr. President,
Killing you.
He won't talk to GV News.
He's killing your country.
He won't talk to us.
And not him. I mean, we'll have to see. I know Starmer did very little about it. And they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from South America. They're coming from different parts of Asia.
Ooh,
And
Candace
they're
Owens shares
invading
fake comments in
Europe.
Charlie Kirk case.
I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect.
How did I miss this? Fake comments? Wilson revealed he created 2 YouTube profiles commenting on the medical examiner's report for the Charlie Kirk assassination case, doubting the bullet's trajectory and suspect Tyler Robinson involvement. Owens had posted the remarks calling the bullet magical and insisted they came from real accounts emailed to her. Oh my gosh, he managed to do the thing. Oh, wow. You know, you're just dumb and fell for him trolling the comments. You guys are so gullible. Both from Andrew Wilson's ultra counter. Wow. Wow. That's embarrassing. Oh, that's so embarrassing. She's done it so many times. It's so embarrassing. Oh, man. Cope. She never can admit when she's wrong. Oh, wow. That's so funny. That is unbelievably funny. Jody, for the $5, says, FYI, there are people calling for her to be excommunicated from the Catholic Church. I can put the links in the chat. Absolutely. Like, yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised at all that they would call for her excommunication. But the weird thing is the Pope knows for sure about all this going on. I have no doubts in my mind. Why haven't they done this already? Why have they not excommunicated her? I'm very confused. I'm like, actually, why not? Oh, I didn't have that. I have to have that open in order for that to refresh. Okay, I guess. Oh, well, there's that. But yeah, thank you for that 5, Jody. I really appreciate that. Oh, check successfully disconnected and connected again. This is going to be a doozy of a night, guys. I can already tell. I can already tell that this is going to be a doozy of a night with this chat constantly cutting in and out. We'll see. We'll see if it messes with us. I just, I prepare for the worst so we can have the best. Or we have the worst anyway, and that's just that. But disconnected and connected again, man. I wonder what is going on today. Man, you guys are so gullible. Those comments are from real YouTube accounts, which he does not control, as they were emailed to me from the account holders. Oh my God. Oh, wow. That is unbelievable. That is actually unbelievable. Wild geese. Let's see, Andrew Wilson. See if he shared them. Both of these medical examiner profiles are mine. Just absolutely amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I wonder if he has commented on this. You got punked. That's just crazy. I can't believe it was that easy. Oh, man. Let's see. Project Constipation here. As I've said all along, the Rode Wireless mic. Why is he sharing this stuff on everybody's posts? I have reported this guy for, spam. Dude, I want y'all to know. My original X account got banned because they thought I was a bot. And they got me for spamming. And I didn't do stuff like this, where I constantly posted my stuff. Every now and then, I would mention to somebody that I covered a subject. But that was about it. I wouldn't go and blatantly share all of my money-making stuff just right there on there, I wasn't like, oh, come watch my video, siphon all viewers and get my, views up, money up, all that stuff. Project Constitution constantly does that. Every time a lot of people see his post, when people do this, oh, there's a Project Constitution post. They get paid just by me scrolling past it. I don't even have to interact with it. In order to get paid on YouTube at all, or get views, or get subscribers, or anything like that, you have to click on the video from X. But you just scrolling past his thing one time at least gets him that view count and bumps it up more, even though I didn't consent to it, I didn't click on it, I didn't do any of that. This number right here goes up. And when that number goes up, you get a little bit more of a boost. And so he posts it on everybody's thing. That's spam. It's illegal on X, and yet he gets no punishment for it. I've been banned for spam and botting when I've never botted and I've never spammed. It's so frustrating to deal with when it's like, cool, I can be totally innocent and for some reason get banned. And then this guy can go and blatantly break all the rules. He fabricates evidence. He doxes people. He does all sorts of terrible, terrible things that are illegal on X. But X Terms of Service does not give a crap. So ridiculous, you know? On to something here. Let's see. Gentry Jade saying, just a theory will sound crazy, but I noticed Theo Vaughn seemed very oppressed after meeting with Candace, and now Sean Ryan is doing the same thing. I swear she's demon-possessed. Yeah, he was getting all depressed and crazy and stuff, and then now Sean Ryan is also. It makes me wonder if they're captured or something, or what could possibly be going on. I don't know. I don't know at all. Be sure if you guys are not subscribed to hit that subscribe button, make that number go up like crazy. I think we hit 40,000 before the first week of August is over. I'm willing to bet we do that. And it's thanks to you guys. I genuinely appreciate y'all. Chat disconnected again. Oh my goodness. YouTube. What is happening? Please tell me that you are aware of the problem. They are not aware of the problem. Huh. Yeah, X gonna give it to you. Sure are, aren't they? Are you on here yet? What time are you going? Scheduled? I didn't have the time. Just schedule. Oh, 34 minutes. Okay, we could kill some time. Hey guys, you know what we ought to do for the next 30 minutes then? We're going straight to sneaky between the cheeky. What was it? The Coco Out Leaky or something like that between the cheeky? Oh no, it was the Waikiki. The Waikiki sneaky between the cheeky. That's what it was. Yeah. Anybody who watches 50 First Dates, you remember what's his name's character? Rob Schneider's character that plays the Hawaiian guy. You got to get a Waikiki sneaky between the cheeky lad, or not lad. What did he say? What did he always call him? Wasn't son either. Maybe it was just brother. Got to give it a Waikiki sneaky between the cheeky brother. Or something like that. It was a very, very funny, quick line. I think it was improvised too, which makes it all that much more funny. Let's see. You gotta love Adam Sandler movies. They're just good. I don't know. Most of them are good. Yes, he put out a few bad ones, but I mean, I'm not gonna let that ruin my love for Adam Sandler movies, guys. Come on, The Wedding Singer, Little Nicky, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. Airheads, even though that's not technically a Adam Sandler movie, but still I count it. It's great. Mr. Deeds. I mean, all those movies, they're great. They're good stuff. Got here. 8 Crazy Nights is awesome. Everyone should be watching that every Christmas. That's a great movie right there. That's my favorite Christmas movie. It's a Hanukkah movie, but it's also a Christmas movie too, because they do celebrate Christmas in it. What was I looking for? Oh, right. No, I know what I was looking for. Right. Okay. 2016. There we go. Actually, I needed to back it up just a little bit, so we'll go 26 minutes in. Yeah, that works. So we can watch the rest of this pretty easily, and then we'll pull up some Candace once she's on, you know? Once she's on there, we will get her. YouTube is doing another downgrade disguised as an upgrade. Yeah, probably. More than likely. Man, this chat keeps disconnecting and connecting. I hope I don't miss anybody. You know? Cartman Mom, you're saying homie, bro. Wait, what's going? Homie? Bro, what? Oh, you were guessing the Duh. I thought you were trying to get my attention. Sorry, you were the 51st Dates. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's such a great movie. I love watching that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. That'll be a great first Adam Sandler movie, probably to show my kids when they're older. After that, it's definitely going to be either Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison. Get in the flask. Yeah, I love that. Get in the flask. Oh, such a great movie. Absolutely. Die Hard is the best Christmas movie. I love Die Hard. Don't get me wrong. Severus Snape being the greatest bad guy ever. You know, I mean, he's a wonderful bad guy. Next, well, not the greatest. He's the second greatest, in my opinion. Christopher Lee gets number 1. Michael Gambon played a few bad guys, too, back in his day, and some good old westerns. He played the crazy Irishman in that Irishman Land Run movie. What movie was that? And so did, obviously, well, I don't know that he played any bad guys. Gary Oldman. I know he plays Commissioner Gordon. He's Sirius Black. He was supposed to be the Dumbledore in this newest series. He was going to get that part, but he got bid out by the guy that does Lord Farquaad. What's that? What is his name? What's his name? Lord Farquaad. You guys help me out here. Who's the guy that played Lord Farquaad? It was shoot. I don't know. That's where Happy Madison came from. Oh yeah, that's his company, Happy Madison. Waterboy, yes, Waterboy 100%. Dang it, what was his name? I just really want him to say the line, you know, whenever he tells all the kids in the new Harry Potter film. I want him to be like, "Some of you may die, but it is a sacrifice I'm willing to make," whenever they're not supposed to go to the 3rd floor, is it, or something like that? Something like that. Also like doing his laugh. His laugh is hilarious. That whole thing, so funny. We just go around, we just go around making stupid jokes about it. It's kind of like the whole like, "Hey Peter," or the Cusco, poison for Cusco, the poison. That whole like kind of just doing Kronk impressions. It's kind of that same feel.
There is no
All right. Oh, this is going to be turned up a lot.
definitive evidence. That's why you
is it
can't
so
come here
quiet
and
now?
defend that position.
How did it get so quiet? This was loud. I remember struggling to bring the volume down on this.
You have to instead start talking about.
All right. Anyway, we'll watch this here. I guess I'm just still disconnected from chat, so I can't see anything. Hopefully, is my stream good? Gary Oldman was Dracula. Wait, did he play Dracula? John Lithgow. Yes, Wanda. Thank you so much, John Lithgow. Yeah. Gary Oldman was Zergo in The Fifth Element. Yeah. I didn't know he played Dracula too, though. Also, the original Count Dracula was played by Christopher Lee. And then he also did the original Sherlock Holmes series too. But I mean, Christopher Lee is just he's a legend. We need to go down an entire rabbit hole of just Christopher Lee history. That dude fought in World War II, got blown up by actual bad guys from World War II, and has shot them out of the sky in an aircraft. That's how his life started, before he was an actor or anything like that. So, I mean, this dude is so unbelievably legendary. There is no way I don't think there's a single actor out there that is as crazy and as legendary as Christopher Lee. It is unbelievable what that dude went through. How many different languages the guy could speak? I think it's like 13 fluently, like 19 total. Like, unbelievably intelligent. And he played all of probably the greatest bad guys from history in general in cinema. So, I mean, going to be an opera singer, that dude, yeah, he was going to be an opera singer, but he released 3 metal albums. 3 metal albums self-titled. And then he did all the narration for Rhapsody of Fire, an amazing orchestrated power metal band that is like Lord of the Rings, which, of course, he played the main bad guy in Lord of the Rings for the most part, Saruman. Not Sauron, but Saruman. Christopher was the inspiration for James Bond. Yeah, and then Christopher Lee also ended up playing no, not Goldfinger, but the man with the golden gun in James Bond. He also played Count Dooku. Yeah. Not Goldfinger, it was the man with the golden gun. Goldfinger was who was Goldfinger? Played Goldfinger was Gert Frobe? I don't know who that is. Man, that's an old-time actor. Gert Frobe. Man. Oh, he played in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I've seen that movie 1,000 times when I was a kid. Wow, I forgot that movie even existed. Huh. Wild. I don't know if he's an old-time actor. A lot of this is before my time. I Killed Rasputin, Dollars, The Falcon, lots of 80s, 70s, and 60s movies. Typhoon over Nagasaki. I've heard of that film. High Wind in Jamaica. Yeah, he's got a lot of like A-list movies under his belt. Leslie Nielsen is also incredible. I love him. His Dracula movies are amazing. They are definitely the best version of Dracula movies, in my opinion. It's all comedy, but still. Just they're insulting each other going past the windows. It's one of the funniest scenes. It's so good. Anything Leslie Nielsen is in is just an instant hit. Like, I don't care what it is. You know you're enjoying it. Anyway, let's jump right on into this, guys, and we'll get Candace Owens right after.
6 million different theories that people are looking into, because when you ask Erica Kirk, well, were you on Fort Huachuca? What does she do? She lies. She conspires with Andrew Colvett to produce a fake alibi for the wrong day with somebody else's kids and then hand them to some never heard of before Gary Melton Paramount tactical YouTuber who literally outs that, yeah, it's confirmed Mitch Snow was on Fort Huachuca that day, and confirms that Andrew Colvett is his source feeding him information rather than just saying, well, yeah, I was on Fort Huachuca because my mom, Lori Franzfey, works there.
Who's
or,
giving him
yeah, I was on Fort Huachuca bringing her a
At
sandwich.
least we actually know who
grew
gave
up
him
on
info.
Fort Huachuca, so of course I was there.
At least we're not trying to hide who gave us info. That's crazy.
But instead, she lies.
He never tried to
produces
hide
a
it,
false,
that Andrew
a fake
Colvett
alibi.
gave it to him.
Andrew, go ahead.
So
yeah,
when you're talking
okay,
about
my
asking
turn, Stu.
questions
Hang
and
on.
not getting answers,
Yes, it is the Naked Gun guy.
these are the people who need to be answering
He's
the
gonna hop
questions,
to it
but they're
somehow.
cowards and they won't
Yeah.
come out here and debate. So they sent you.
But they
Okay.
do.
Here's your evidence.
Andrew, go ahead. Andrew, go ahead. You got a minute.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Charlie Kirk.
They do.
Andrew,
They
go ahead.
do
You got a
ask
minute.
you- They do ask you for your evidence, and I'm just as connected to this case as you are, which means not at all. Were you some great friend of Charlie? Are you somehow super connected to this in a way that I'm not? What gives you the right to represent a view against TPUSA, but not for me to represent a view on their behalf if I agree with them? What?
Okay, so represent
Hang on,
Stu,
hang on,
How is it that you
Hey, hold on.
My turn,
Let's do
Stu.
uninterrupted. Come
Yeah, chill out, Stu. What is
Come on,
it?
come on.
Well, how is it that
Props to Sneeko there for actually stepping in that time. That's the first time I think I saw him step in properly.
you have some great
Gotta
authority
give him
as a
credit for that.
questioner, but I have no great authority to question you with my own questions as my own form of questioner, questioning the questioners. Tell me where it is that you end up with this great authority and I don't. Why is it that you deserve to talk to these people, but I'm stuck talking with you instead of the people who profess most of this? You're stuck talking with me for the same reason I'm stuck talking with you. It's because the
Correct. Andrew Wilson would be debating Candace Owens right now.
people on your side are too cowardly, the ones who actually profess this stuff, to stand by any of their views. You yourself, sir, will not stand by your own views right this second. You ask me for evidence, I give you tons. By the way, with Tyler Robinson, there was way more Robinson DNA than Twigs. That's a lie. You say that these
That
photos,
was
you
manipulated.
say that
There
these
was
Hold on,
photos,
testimony.
it's my turn to do.
Almost done.
say
You
that
got
there's
10 seconds,
photos-
Andrew. 10 seconds.
You say there's photos there that were wrong. That's a lie. You're just making shit up, Stu, because that's what you people do. You just make it up.
Go ahead, Stu.
What did I make up? What photos are you talking about that I made up?
You
I'm
said that
talking
Eric.
about
Hey,
guys
Andrew,
that
Andrew,
work
Andrew,
for Tur-
Well, he did ask him a question. Come on, this format sucks. Like, if we're gonna get down to questions, it should be how he should have probably structured it at this point. Is you ask one question, you get unlimited time to answer question. Next person asks question, next guy gets unlimited time to answer question without interruption. Straight answers. That way nobody's confused. How easy would this have been? Or give pre-submitted questions to Sneeko. He'll read them out, and then both respond, like one after the other. I don't think it would have been that difficult.
He asked me.
No, I don't care about the 1 minute, 1 minute. You make some claim like that. I want to know what the fuck you're talking
What
about.
photos do you
Furthermore-
are you claiming that Erica Kirkford?
He just tossed Sneeko overboard. It just clicked in my head. I was like, wait a minute, what about? And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, hold on. That's his buddy. He just goes, I don't care about this minute. And now Sneeko's all upset. This is incredible.
with kids that weren't hers. What?
Well, you know that picture with her finger over it. That was
Yeah.
the
He
alibi.
closes it
wasn't on
out.
Fort Huachuca. The
Prove those
entire
weren't her
world has
kids.
Seen that. The entire
Prove those
world has
weren't
seen
her
that.
kids. Prove it. How do you know those weren't her kids?
I have seen the pictures of Charlie Kirk's kids.
That doesn't
Everybody,
prove.
everybody knows.
The
And
faces are obstructed,
It was for
Stu.
the wrong day.
The faces are
That's not an
obstructed,
alibi, it's
Stu.
for a
By the way,
completely
it wasn't
different
for the
day.
wrong.
It's not from a different day. What?
How do you
And
know it was for the wrong
actually-
day?
And
How do you
actually,
know?
from what I understand, it's already been confirmed from Turning Point that one of those kids, in fact, wasn't her. So you guys can't even keep your story straight.
No.
From the shill to the Turning
Okay, who
Point people
confirmed
pay
it?
you.
Yeah, who confirmed it?
From what I have heard, somebody in Turning
Oh,
Point
That is such a cop-out. What a garbage person. Oh,
has
what you
acknowledged.
heard.
Yes, somebody
Oh,
in
great.
Turning Point. And you can maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I can
Steve,
see
yeah, that's
clearly
great.
that
You
these are
heard
not
it.
her kids.
Oh, that's great. You heard it from somebody who supposedly through the
Andrew,
grapevine.
Andrew, even
This is great
regardless-
evidence, Stu.
Regardless if that's true or not,
Uh-huh.
she provided an alibi for the wrong day. She was
No,
using Andrew
bro.
Colbert to provide that alibi to Gary Melton.
Where did
where
where
at the
did
same time he
Yeah.
accidentally outed Andrew Colbert as being his source of information.
So you don't believe that
These
Erica
people
Kirk?
have lied when telling the truth.
that wasn't an accident. That wasn't an accident at all. All Andrew Colvett said was, don't show this picture. That was it. He prefaced that I got information from Andrew Colvett. I asked Andrew Colvett for evidence, and he gave it to me. What are you talking about? He didn't out Andrew Colvett as the source. In a sense, like by accident. He flat out told everybody before he even showed the texts. We don't hide our sources, unlike you guys.
Yeah.
Suits them better.
You don't believe
So
that Erica
crazy.
Kirk was at the hospital
The
with
most
her mom?
consequential political assassination of our lifetime.
Erica
These
Kirk
are the
wasn't
people
at the
who are
hospital with
lying.
her mom?
Tyler Robinson has
Oh,
not
hey, Ben,
told
how
a
you
lie.
doing, man?
Dude,
How's your
this
dog
guy will
doing?
filibuster forever, dude. If you don't do the time.
Where are
You
Tyler
won't answer
Robinson's lies?
questions.
I can point out all kinds of lies. You're
just
here
gonna filibuster,
to tell
bro.
me why Tyler
You
Robinson
gotta enforce the
should be
time,
put
so
to
this
death
guy
for
will never
killing
stop,
Charlie
bro.
Kirk.
Okay, we're
filibuster
going
the
in
thing.
circles with this back and forth about these claims.
And we will be, because the debate here was his position is that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk.
It
And
still
that's
is. The
what
evidence
this
supports
entire
it.
Camp, all of the people,
Yeah,
all
the
of
evidence
the people
supports
at
it.
Turk, none of them will come out and say that. You're out here asking.
I thought
I'll
you
debate
said that
on
that's all they
I'll debate
say.
you on that. Do you want to come and have a discussion about that? Yeah, I would love you to tell me
Uh-huh.
where's all the evidence that Tyler Robinson should be put to death.
Yeah,
And you
let's
can't even
start-
do that.
let's
So you
start
do
with
what
the
you always
text
do, which is
message
the shifting of
confessions.
burden. And
Yeah,
I
we
don't
have-
even know.
we have
Nobody
text
knows that
message
Tyler Robinson
confessions,
wrote
Stu.
those text message confessions. They sound
Oh,
like
I
they were
know.
written by GP, chat
So who do
GP
you
cop.
So who do you think wrote them, Stu? Oh, I don't know. Who could say?
Are you
The
ignoring the
Jews.
fact? Are
the
you
Jews wrote them, Andrew.
Okay.
Who do you think wrote them, bro?
okay? So you must be ignoring the fact that our government continuously lies. Like, are you
Okay,
expect?
great.
So it's the government that wrote them? Yeah, it's a simple question. Answer it. The government wrote them. Okay. And you know where he's going to go with that. Who in the government? Specifically where? Now you're going to have to come up with that. Someone in the government, I don't know, is what that would end up as. And Stu Peters knows that would be a terrible thing to say. It'll just make him look stupid, so he refuses to get that far.
think that
Yeah,
this
the government
audience is a
lies.
bunch of
Who do you
idiots.
think wrote them, Stu?
I don't accept the government narrative that
I know.
Tyler
Who do you think
Robinson
wrote
killed
them, Stu?
Charlie Kirk or
do
any of
you-
the made-up evidence.
Who do you
White
think wrote
confessions.
Made
them?
up evidence.
Who do you think wrote
Why
That's
them?
how they
didn't his mom
justify it.
confess? I don't know
Who do you think wrote them? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
who
the whole
knows?
point.
Who could say?
The burden
Yeah,
is on
they're
the
on
state
his
to prove
phone.
that they're
They're
Tyler
on his
Robinsons.
You're right. The burden is on the state, and that's why we're having a trial. Do you not understand how this works, man? The burden is on the state. He's 100% correct. It's crazy how that works. Isn't that just wild? And yet they're like, the state can't prove anything. It's done. No, we got a trial, buddy. It's coming up. Y'all have such a hard time knowing that fact. It's like these people can't see more than like a week ahead of them. To them, after a week, it's infinitely unknown what's gonna take place at all.
They take pictures of him on the phone. Then they pull the data off the phone. That's not
Okay.
enough evidence for you, though, Stu, because at some point the Jews could have written them somewhere, right?
Okay, I thought you didn't want to do ad homs. Where do the
That's
Jews
not
come
an ad
from?
hom.
They're everywhere.
How is that an ad
Okay.
hom?
Because you know that's what you've been watching my show. That's what you want to do. You want me to get
Dude, if not ad hom, you would be thinking a straw man argument. That's what you would be thinking, but it actually wasn't a straw man argument because that is your argument exactly to the T.
on a which I can do. If you want to debate the, we can do that.
Well, all I'm doing is pointing this out. It's like, put in anyone you want. The blacks did it. Whoever, whatever, doesn't matter.
Okay,
Whatever
so
conspiracy that you want.
Is Lance Twiggs' DNA on the screwdriver and the rifle?
It is.
Was it on the phone?
And it's much lesser to a much
Was it
lesser
on the
degree than
phone?
Robinson's.
Was it on the phone?
I didn't see that in the preliminary.
Wasn't on the phone.
So do you know if it was on the phone? Did
I
Lance
don't.
Twiggs write the confessions?
Wait, hold on. Well, of course the phone was. The phone, I'm pretty sure, that they took pictures of, was Lance Twiggs' phone, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Like, I'm pretty sure that was Lance Twiggs' phone. Am I wrong about that? I don't think that was Tyler Robinson's phone they showed us. I thought those were the messages that Lance Twiggs received, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it was Tyler Robinson's phone. Could it have been Lance Twiggs' DNA on it? Maybe. I don't know. Did he type him up? Did Lance Twiggs type him up, though? Is that where we're going with this? Is it Lance Twiggs? Maybe. Maybe Lance Twiggs did it. Maybe Lance Twiggs is framing his boyfriend. That could be happening. Okay. Does that change anything? I mean, it does go to show that, hey, wow, look at this trans person that ended somebody and then tried to put the blame on somebody who wasn't trans. Well, that would be typical, wouldn't it? I wouldn't be shocked in the least bit. And would anybody here care if it actually turned out it was Lance Twiggs? Like, actually, would that help the movement? No, that means Charlie was actually ended by a trans person. So it makes it worse for the left if it was Lance Twiggs. Just saying. And then, of course, he's trying to put the blame on his boyfriend so he gets off scot-free, right? That's a crazy possibility, actually. That is probably one of the highest likely possibilities towards any other theory that these guys have cooked up at all. You know what I mean? It is way more likely that happened than an exploding mic. It is way more likely that happened than a palm gun. It is way more likely that happened over him getting shot from the back. That is way more likely that happened than there being decoys or the military involved or anything like that. That it could have just been Lance Twiggs the whole time. Yeah, way more possible than what they've done. The fact of the matter is we have video that looks like Tyler Robinson. We have his car. We have his DNA. His DNA to a much higher degree. Now, it is possible that DNA would have been higher by Tyler Robinson because maybe that was actually Tyler Robinson's stuff. And Lance Twiggs didn't mess with that stuff as often. If that was his first time picking some of that stuff up, I could see why Tyler Robinson's DNA would be on it more than Lance Twiggs. But I'm not a DNA expert. That may not even be possible. Maybe the newest person to touch it has the most DNA on it. Therefore, Tyler Robinson would be it. But man, would this theory right here of it was actually Lance Twiggs instead of Tyler Robinson, so much more likely than anything Candace Owens has cooked up. And they can't even see that in front of their faces. It's pretty pathetic.
Was
I don't.
Lance Twiggs riding around in an SUV planting Tyler Robinson evidence on Palantir property?
Do you have
know?
any evidence that
It's
Twiggs
not
was doing
incumbent
that?
upon me to prove that Tyler Robinson is innocent. Do
It
you
is the
understand how
second you
system
post
of
it as an
justice
No, but you're making claims that somebody else is guilty. Don't you think that's a problem?
alternative
works?
theory. As soon as you pose it as an alternative
What do you
theory,
mean? That's
then
called an
it becomes
investigation.
incumbent upon you.
That's called an investigation. I'm not
And what
putting
have you
on
learned?
trial for your life.
I'll tell you
people
what.
have this guy on trial
Yeah.
for his life
Has Candace
saying,
started yet, by the way? Take a look. 12 minutes left. All right, cool.
he definitely did it.
And what have you learned in
The
your
criminal
great-
justice system
Yeah,
in
what have
this
you learned in your
country means that it's
investigation,
the
Stu?
burden of the prosecution
Stu,
to show
what have
us
you
how
learned
he did it.
what have you learned actually in your investigation here? What have you actually learned? Just that TPUSA is full of
I've learned
liars?
a lot of things. Oh,
What?
Yeah, of course they are.
Okay, what? What have you
Primarily-
actually learned?
I've learned a whole lot.
What?
That's not what I'm here to discuss.
Yeah, what?
I'm
Okay,
here
so
to have
right.
you tell
I'm
me
here.
how
I'm running an investigation,
Tyler
but I
Robinson
can't even tell you
killed
what I've
Charlie
learned. I can't even tell you what I've learned.
Let's
in
get
my
into the
investigation.
theories instead of getting into more personal claims. How about we get into, we haven't seen it spelled out, but what we actually think happened or what is really going on. This is still going on. It's in trial. I would like to hear from both if you guys are okay with this. If we hear some theories and we hear what do you think actually happened? What's the truth?
So, but
Great.
hold on a second. To do that, what we're doing is we're prosecuting the investigators, which is millions of people who don't believe Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. There should
So-
be no problem providing evidence to
So he's not
argue,
going to give
to
you warnings,
debate
Nico.
that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk.
Evidence will be forward in the trial. I don't know. Why is this guy so brain dead?
I talk
Not-
about this shit every day.
He's not going to actually
I talk
give
about
you
this. I talk
anything.
about my perspective.
Oh, I did not
what
see
I
it.
have
Tell me
learned
what you
Video
think
on this
happened.
yet.
every single day.
I need to
I'll
go
tell you,
look
I'll
at
tell you
that.
what I think happened if you tell me what you think happened. Go ahead, Stu. What happened?
I talk about every single day what I've
Yeah,
learned.
what happened?
That's what I
Brit?
spend my. I'm here to debate you about.
I know, and I'm
Tyler
asking
Robinson
you.
and Charlie
happened?
Kirk.
What do you think happened? That's what Nico wants to know. It's what the audience want to
We
know.
could
What do
find
you
a
think
point of
happened?
contention. If we both spell this out, then we
Yeah,
can
what
find
do you
a
think
way
happened,
to
Stu?
lead this
Tell us.
discussion.
What I don't believe happened is that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk in his
We
neck
didn't
bone.
ask what you believe didn't happen. We want to know what you believe did happen.
Of steel with his
Why is it
grandfather's
so
stolen
hard?
30-06 and confessed to his dad and confessed to a minister and a U.S. Marshal and turned himself in.
Bro.
So what do you
Beyond
think
that-
happened?
Hold on, let him
Beyond
answer.
that-
Let him answer.
There can be all kinds of
Nico,
speculation
pay attention
as
to what the question
happened.
was.
I know that I have examined
Good
a
God.
whole bunch of interesting banks of data, including image searches, including flight tracking information, for example.
So
Turning
brain
Point
dead.
USA planes being on tarmacs in the middle of the night in airfields, the same airfields that were involved with the cocaine cowboy, with Iran-Contra.
Guys, are you going to blame a runway because somebody did something illegal on that runway? Now nobody else can use that runway. That's like saying there's a highway that a car was sitting on. Let's say the highway was I-70. Well, their car was on I-70, and that's a highway known for drug running. So nobody can drive that highway now without being a drug runner? What?
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, they're on these airfields for 20 or 30 minutes. They leave there, they go to a bigger airport. Then they overlap 24
When?
times, 24 to 27 times with aircraft that are owned by Miriam Adelson. They're on the tarmac with Miriam Adelson's planes for
This
1 to
dude's
2
confusing
hours.
the Egyptian
And
flight
then
logs.
every
I think.
single time Miriam
None of
Adelson's
this
plane
happened.
leaves and it goes to Iran, or excuse
This
me,
guy's
to
an idiot.
Israel. I
He's
think
not
that's
even
really
arguing
interesting.
Candace Owens' points.
These are all types of different things that I have been investigating, and I
Oh
would
my
love to
God.
ask Turning Point USA about them because I think that they are relevant and pertinent. But it's not
That
incumbent
at a
upon
military
me to
base?
prove. It's
That
not
at a-
incumbent upon me to prove that that has something to do with the death of Charlie Kirk. It's
Great.
incumbent upon the people who
Yeah.
are trying Tyler Robinson for his life to prove that he actually did it. So where's the evidence of that?
Okay, so here's
Aside
what
from
I.
a confession that we don't
I'm
know
going to give
he
you the
made.
same.
Okay,
I'll
Andrew,
give
go
you the
ahead.
same
Go ahead,
exact.
Andrew.
I'll give you the same exact answer back. Here's what I don't believe, Stu. I don't believe a microphone blew his neck out. I don't believe that Snow saw anybody at Fort Tejuka. I don't believe that you can tie Colvette to anything. I don't believe you can tie Erica to anything. I don't believe you have a single credible eyewitness or alternative theory. I don't believe that you have anything, Stu. Nothing. I don't think your investigation has proven a single thing.
Well, what do you
not
believe?
One.
What do you-
Not
what-
yours. Not Candace's.
I don't believe
nobody's.
that the state's
In
prosecution
fact,
of
hang on,
Tyler
my turn.
Robinson has
My
proven
turn.
a single
Well,
thing.
the answer to the
Hang on,
question is,
I
what
don't
do you
think
think
has
happened?
proven a single
What,
thing.
Andrew?
Well, okay, but how?
Yes, it was, Sneeko, and I just got on to you for that like 2 minutes ago, but you were like, no, let him talk. Now it's like, no, the question's this, Andrew. I won't hold, I'm not going to enforce these rules evenly. You have to answer the question directly that you asked him, but he doesn't have to answer the question at all.
Come, he didn't have
That's
to answer
awesome.
that question, then, Sneeko.
He said he doesn't believe in the narrative, so he's
That's
giving.
not what happened. That's what didn't happen. I'm answering in the same way. So tell me, if he tells me what he thinks happened, I'll tell him what I think happened. I think that's
To be fair, it sounded like he was rejecting the official narrative. So I would like to
No,
hear.
to be fair, he literally refused to answer.
Okay. And he rejected the non-official narrative. You idiot. Pay attention, dude. Seriously, get whatever the heck is out between your ears here out of there so you can listen and pay attention, Sneeko.
To that question that you're now demanding that I answer, which is what happened? What do you think happened, Stu? What?
The goulash
What?
is incredible, by the way, Texas
I
Motherboard.
just told you that I don't
Thank you
believe
for
the
asking.
official narrative.
My wife cooked the crap out of this. It's amazing.
Have I answered your question?
That's
There's
not
been
answering
nothing
the
but
question.
lies. I have talked to you about Miriam Adelson's planes being with Turning Point planes and then going directly to Israel.
So do you think
Well,
Miriam
7
Adelson
times.
had a hand
Touching
in
in the
murdering
air.
Charlie Kirk?
Do you think that Tyler Robinson had a hand in Charlie
Yes.
Kirk? It's not
100
me
yes.
that has the burden to prove that Miriam Adelson
Oh,
or
man.
Erica Kirk or Tyler Boyer or Andrew Colvett.
The burden of proof is on you for the claims you have made. When you're claiming that TPUSA is colluding behind the scenes, you have got to prove that. It's not our burden to prove Tyler Robinson did anything. It's your burden on the claims you make. I'm not making claims. I say, okay, I believe Tyler Robinson did it because they've shown some evidence. I believe it's the most likely situation to have taken place. And they're like, you got to prove that. No, I don't. I don't have to prove a single thing I believe. I don't. Now, if I claim Tyler Robinson did do it, yes, I should back that claim. But I'm not claiming that. I'm saying I believe he did it. I don't know if he did it or not. We're going to find out. But the evidence sure does point in his direction. I'm sure when the trial happens, we'll see more evidence. But you guys are like, no, not only did he not do it at all, he wasn't even there that day, even though we have proof. Even though we have him saying he was there that day and did it. Apparently that's not proof. Even though he had the bullets. He had the same ones at his house that he did here. He had extra bullets there. He had carvings in it. Lance Twiggs corroborated that he carved into them. I mean, there's so much evidence, it's ridiculous. But let's say none of that even came out to the public, and we didn't know a thing. Okay? I still don't have to say that who did it and who didn't do it. I'm sitting here waiting for evidence. But these guys are making straight claims saying this did not happen this way. TPUSA's in on it. And it's like, that is your burden to bear. That is your burden to prove. You need to back your claims.
Or anybody. It's not incumbent upon me to prove that these people, Charlie Kirk.
Then how's it incumbent
Tyler
upon you to
Robinson
disprove?
on trial for his life? That is
Yeah.
how do you understand how the judicial process works in this
I
country?
do. Yep. Innocent
You
until
do not
proven guilty.
so-
Do you understand how evidence
Stu,
works in this
wow.
country? That
Understand
you
that
can
it
be
is the
guilty.
burden?
Yeah, you can still be guilty of a crime even if you're presumed innocent. In this
So-
particular case, we have lots and lots of evidence that you have not refuted. You haven't refuted the text messages. You haven't
Yes, I
refuted
did.
the DNA. You
Yes, I
haven't
did.
refuted any. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's start with the easiest one possible for you. Is it actually impossible, Stu, that a 30-06 hit Charlie Kirk? Is that actually impossible?
Based on my experience with 30-06,
That's not an answer. Based on your experience is not an answer. He asked if it was impossible.
Huh?
everything that I've seen with 30-06,
Uh-huh.
no, I don't believe that he was shot by a 30-06. And I think
Okay.
just 20 seconds ago, I said, I don't believe the official narrative. That includes a transgender, furry, homosexual climbing or scaling the side of a building in broad daylight
He didn't scale a building in broad daylight. That's not what happened. He had a stairwell.
without being detected.
Hang on.
with a
Let's
rifle
just start with the
shoved down his
30-06.
pants,
Let's just start with the
using his
30-06.
grandfather's
Let's do
stolen
one claim at a
30-06.
time.
I'm just telling you what I don't believe.
Yeah, shut up, Stu.
I
just
understand
asking.
you don't believe, but you see
said
what you
start with
did.
The easiest thing, the 30-06.
Yeah, and now we've got the easiest thing. You just made a claim. You do not believe. You say this did not happen. He was not
The
shot
burden
with a
of
30-06.
proof is not
That is the burden of proof
upon
now.
me.
It is
No,
the
it's
second you
not.
say that's not true.
Me proving Tyler Robinson innocent is not where the burden
No,
lies.
no, no. I
It is
didn't ask
you
you
to prove
I didn't
that
ask
there's
you that.
evidence that
I
says
asked you
it's
to
an
prove,
open and shut case.
I asked you to prove it was impossible.
Turning
Stu.
Point USA is saying it is an
Yeah,
open and
Stu,
shut case, and
Stu,
that
answer the
Tyler
question.
Robinson is guilty.
Stu,
When you said
when
you
you
wanted
said-
to debate
bro,
that,
this guy's
I said
just gonna
I would be
filibuster
more than happy
forever.
to debate that.
Yeah, let's go
you
back
wanna
to
talk
times,
about exploding
Sneeko.
microphones.
This
You
guy
want
will
to talk
never-
about
he'll never answer
documented,
anything.
open source, irrefutable
I
data
know.
that
We'll
nobody
just,
has
you know
explained
what?
away.
I'm just going to sit here
You
and
want to talk
filibuster
about
too,
Google
then.
image searches.
I
You want
will-
to talk
I'll
about
read my
traffic
sources.
Hold on,
jams,
hold on.
about exploding
know.
microphones.
Why not just address some of the
I
claims?
want to talk about what the claim is that you're
I'm
making.
trying to.
Which is what I said I would come
Yeah,
here
I'm
and
trying
debate,
to,
which
but
is
you're
that Tyler
filibustering.
Robinson, Charlie Kirk, and you
Yeah,
have no evidence
but you're
of that. So where
filibustering.
is
I
it?
gave you tons of evidence. You're not addressing any of it. Let's start with the 30-06.
I did.
Let's start with the 30-06. Is that possible or impossible? You say that it's impossible. Yeah, I heard you say that, oh, the steel neck theory is
say it was
ridiculous.
impossible.
Okay, it's not impossible.
Based on what I saw, no, I don't believe that that's what happened.
Okay,
I don't
so
believe
then,
that Tyler Robinson's lazy eye in his sniper abilities shot Charlie Kirk in his Superman
at 140 yards.
Does he have a lazy eye? Does he actually have a lazy eye? I don't know. Randy Donna for the $5 says, Candace is going to jail. Prison would be better. Plus being sued, demonetized, plus remanded for psych help. But what are the charges? Who is bringing them? Well, there aren't any charges or anything like that yet, but Candace Owens is panicking about it. I think she realizes that since she put somebody, more than likely, she put somebody up there to record that video in the courtroom. There's a good possibility that they're going to seize her electronics and see who it was. Very good possibility. Unless, of course, somehow this is in, Tyler Robinson's favor, I guess. Or the judge is playing into the favor of Candace Owens somehow, which I don't think so. I think this judge is going to get mad. So we're going to end up seeing what happens for sure, but she was panicking on X. I'll show you those tweets here in a second.
No, I don't. I don't believe that.
Did Martin Luther King have a super jaw?
I believe his grandmother when she said that she's never even seen Tyler Robinson with a rifle, with a
that never happened.
No, she didn't. She never said that. There are pictures of him on social media with weapons. What?
That literally never happened. You just made it up.
But
Can you
did.
show me
There's text messages about that?
Where? Well, show me.
They're
are they?
on X.
Okay,
Somebody
they're
went
on X.
to Tyler Robinson's grandmother's door.
No, they did not. Absolutely not. That never happened.
So can we talk about some of we're going back and forth the 30-06 and the different evidence and claims.
Yes.
What about
start? I'll give you. No, I'm going to start. I'll start with my evidence.
I do not believe that the 30-06 was used to shoot Charlie Kirk in his neck. No.
Gotcha. Okay, understood.
Yeah, Matt Tardio he's the one kind of covering the whole, there may be some charges coming Candace Owens' way. So we're going to see. This is going to be developing. Something crazy is going to happen, possibly. Hopefully they're not just teasing us, but yeah. Matt Tardio, I'm keeping an eye on him.
Andrew, you're not going to shift the burden here. It is
I'm not
my responsibility.
You just said you don't believe X.
Tyler Robinson's innocence.
I understand. Is it the case, though, that you just said, hang on, you can't disbelieve something. How am I supposed to even question this guy, Sneeko? You want to answer any questions? Sure, are you a ballistic expert?
Do you consider Rob O'Neill to be a ballistic?
Answering questions with questions, as Stu Peter does. I'll answer questions, asks a question.
Expert.
What an idiot.
Which guy's Rob O'Neill?
Andrew, stop answering his questions now. You've answered too many.
No, he's not a ballistics expert.
440 times.
He's not he's not a ballistics expert.
Of the SEAL team.
Not a ballistics expert.
Are you a ballistics expert?
No.
Okay, is Gary Melton a ballistics expert?
No. By his own admission.
Is Valhalla, is Erica Kirk a ballistic expert?
Nope.
Okay, but she said she forgives Tyler Robinson. So she...
What does that have to do with ballistics?
Tyler Robinson is guilty.
What?
Yeah, hang on.
What does that have to do with any ballistics at all?
Well, he says that
so we've all established that none of us are ballistics experts, right? We've established that? Great.
I don't need to be a ballistics expert.
Let's get into the expert.
You to tell me what evidence proves that Tyler Robinson...
I don't need to do this and gets into fighting words again.
You have to stop talking or I can't give you the evidence. Do you want it or not?
You're asking me if I'm a ballistics expert and if I believe that Andrew Kovitz
I just want a yes or no would be
some
fine.
fort in Tucson.
Yeah.
When he, by the way, when he said that and pretended that,
are we ever going to get to the
evidence?
Stu, are we ever going to get to the evidence?
Immediately after that,
you're just you're prattling, bro.
This is when the TPUSA plane actually landed on Fort Huachuca.
Yeah, can we get to the evidence now?
But he's going to pretend he doesn't know what that is.
So let's start with the 30-06. Are you aware that the U.S. Army has released many studies on the 30-06, including a very comprehensive study
where
they went over
Tyler Robinson to the shooting death of Charlie Kirk, which is what we're
all right.
Here to
we'll do a
debate.
time limit, Sneeko. The guy won't even let me speak. He just
we don't have to do the time. You seem that you both abandoned it, but let's just.
I'm not.
No, they both did not abandon it. Stu Peters abandoned it. Why do you keep doing that, Sneeko?
I'm not going to sit here and read you studies from the government to prove
what are we
that
supposed
Tyler
to
Robinson
debate
is innocent.
then? We're supposed to debate what? You won't even go over the evidence.
You made the claim
with me.
that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk.
I'm trying to go over the evidence.
You're all
but
over
you won't
the place.
Stop
You're
talking,
online
bro.
saying that. So what's the evidence?
The evidence.
You're
Let's
talking
go over
about
it.
citations from the government.
Yes, the citations from the government.
Wow.
Use that caliber in 3 wars, Stu.
That's not evidence that Tyler
It's
Robinson
massive
shot
evidence
Charlie
that this
Kirk.
is not only possible, but when we take the 150 grain core lock Remington,
It's
we
possible
look at the
that
minute
Jewish
of
space
angle.
lasers
It's
Charlie
not
Kirk.
only
That's
it's not only
evidence.
possible, it's likely. And let's point this out too. When you say steel neck, Martin Luther King must have had a steel jaw then. Because it stopped there too, Stu. He stopped at 30-06 round two.
None of
Did
what
he
you
have a
just
steel
said-
jaw? Did he have a
None of
steel
what
jaw?
you just said is evidence that Tyler Robinson shot
No,
Charlie
the
Kirk.
evidence for that would be his confession.
That
Remember
sounds
when
like
he
an
confessed?
investigation.
Do you remember
actually.
when he confessed, Stu?
I
Via text
didn't know
message?
anybody could be this stupid.
You remember when
I
he
don't.
sent text messages to his boyfriend and laid out the entirety of it?
Please tell me that Stu Peters has like very few subscribers. Please tell me this guy is not this big and that he just has a big budget because he's a rich boy.
He said that he ditched his rifle.
way, right?
He said that he
Who
shot
could
Kirk.
ever listen
he
to
went
such
through the
stupidity?
entirety of everything
No,
that
he
he
didn't.
did.
He said,
Yes, he
I
did.
did it. He never said what he did.
He did what?
He said, I
What do you
did
think
it.
he did? What do you
I don't
think he
know.
was referencing? I don't know.
I have no idea. It is
I
not
did
incumbent
it.
upon me to prove
Yeah.
what he
I
meant.
don't even see
Yeah,
him
I did it.
on.
It's the prosecution's burden to prove what he meant when he said, I did it.
He meant
But
he
here
meant
you
he
go.
was,
Peters Network.
he meant
Here
he
you
was going to
You
go get
said
ice
He
cream.
went through in great detail
Oh.
about what he did and all this. He said,
Yeah.
I did it. He didn't
Yeah.
say what he
Wait.
did. So
No, he
just
he
like
did.
Jack Posobiec misrepresented, just like Benny Johnson said that it's open and shut. We saw it. He pulled
Someone
the trigger.
made an account
You're now
called
just
Stu
making
Peters,
shit up.
and it's
He
all
said,
AI
I did it.
videos.
What is the
He-
it that he did, and how
He
can
references
you prove it?
exactly
That's
what it
weird.
is that he did.
How can you
So,
prove that he
it's
wrote
really
any
funny.
message at all?
It's really funny. Well, the state says that they pulled the data off his phone after they collected it from
Okay,
him.
Well, a lot of people say a lot of things that aren't true. Erica Kirk says that she didn't date or drink, and she
Don't
was
you think
on
that the
a national
prosecution
television
might have
show
brought that
dating
up?
and drinking.
Don't
Okay,
you think
so
the
he's on
prosecution
Rumble.
would have brought up during the preliminary hearing those weren't his messages if they weren't, Stu?
Don't you think that the prosecution's
Answer the
job
question,
at
Stu.
the preliminary hearing is to provide their most damning evidence? We've seen the totality of
I'm
it.
asking
What
about the
is it
defense.
that
Why
convinces
didn't the
you that
defense
Tyler
say
Jeez,
that?
Robinson
he's got
shot Charlie Kirk?
582,000
Why didn't the defense say
followers. How?
these messages are not authentic? He did not write them.
Oh,
Why didn't they say
Because
that,
it is
Stu?
not the
He makes
defense's
way
job
less
to do
views than
that.
I do,
Again,
for the
you
most
don't
It is the
understand
defense's
the
job to
judicial
do that.
process in this country.
Bro,
He's
that is the
boosted by
defense's
Preliminary
job.
hearing
Okay.
is the equivalent of a grand jury.
I'm doing better than
It is
him.
And
not
does the
defense's
defense
though.
get
job.
to-
It is not the defense's turn to put on a show and talk about how innocent Tyler Robinson is at a preliminary hearing.
So
It is
let's
the
pretend you were at a
prosecution's
grand.
job
Yeah,
to
slop
prove that
is
there is
bad.
enough
Yeah.
evidence to put him on trial for his life. And
So Stu, let's pretend for a second that
Do you
you're in a
acknowledge
grand
that's right?
jury. No,
Hold
that's
on.
not correct. It's not
We need
correct.
to
I'll show
pretend.
you. I'll prove it.
sure.
But Stu's
So let's
pretending this
let's
whole
pretend
time,
that you're
man.
at your own grand jury hearing for them to see if they're going to send you off to trial or not, or a preliminary like this. Would you, if you were in Tyler Robinson's position, have wanted your lawyers to introduce that the one smoking gun that they have over all else, which is text messages, weren't even Tyler Robinson's if they had some evidence to that? Wouldn't
it
you,
would be
Stu?
completely unprecedented and totally out of order.
How would it be
and against the
unprecedented?
rules, 100% against the this is not the judicial process.
Yes, it is the
In a-
judicial
first of
process.
all,
Why
grand
couldn't they
jury
do that?
indictments are secret.
Why couldn't the defense at all refute the text messages when they refuted everything else? Why? I want to know why they didn't come out and say, well, we don't actually have proof that he wrote these. No, they didn't do anything like that, did they? They didn't argue that the evidence that they had was even fake. Why wouldn't the defense do that? This guy is an absolute idiot.
Okay, so you don't go up here before your grand jury.
I said preliminary, Stu.
Okay, preliminary hearings are the equivalent of a grand jury. It is the prosecution's job to show the defense and the court all of the evidence to exhibit whether or not there is enough evidence for the judge to say, yes, this guy should go on trial for his life. So we have seen
And
the
if the
totality
defense-
of all of the evidence.
The defense is trying to show that there's not enough evidence. You realize that, right?
That the prosecution has.
Text messages.
What is the evidence that you say proves that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk with his
Well,
grandfather's
we would do-
30-06
yeah,
from the
great.
rooftop of the Losi building?
Yep. The fact that he said that he did it
Where's
in
the
text
footage
messages.
that Jack Posobiec says that he saw?
The fact
Where's
that he
the
said,
footage
yeah. So I'm trying to give you the evidence.
Why the
bro.
need
You
to
just don't
lie
ever
about
shut
that?
up. You never stop talking, just filibuster. So here's the evidence. The evidence is we have his DNA on the scene. The evidence is that he sent all of the text messages over. The evidence is overwhelming in that regard.
Okay,
He
so-
sent the text messages to them. They
Okay.
pulled the data off the phone.
Sure.
Right? I don't
Okay,
know.
so
Like,
I'll
what else
accept
would you
that.
want?
I'll accept
By the way, guys, if you could hit that subscribe button, make that go up like crazy. Thank you all so much for being here.
Accept that. So you've got
Hit that like button too.
early on. What day was it that they talked about the confession? By the way,
Why would
Do
that?
you
Why would
remember
that
what
be
day of the week
relevant
it was?
to the confession?
well, because Monday through Thursday, we saw the preliminary hearings, where it's the defense's job to sit and listen to the prosecution present their case against their client. It is not their job to argue their client's innocence. And by the way, that is not how the judicial system works. Once again, in this country, it is to prove a man guilty beyond the shadow of a reasonable doubt. Do you agree with that?
Yes, that I agree with.
The defense's job is to prove that they are innocent, though. It is their job to do that. That's why he hires them on. That's why he has a defense, in order to defend himself from accusations. They are trying to prove innocence. They are trying to do that. What else would they be there for? Why else would they be trying to defend themselves? Like, if it was just the prosecution and that's it, the defense would just sit there and take it. But that's not what they're doing, is it? The defense is questioning the evidence that they have. And if those text messages had any ounce of fakery in them at all, you don't think the defense would be like, hey, there's some issues with the text? You don't think they would poke holes in it? Why would they just leave him be and be like, you know what, we're not going to argue this? That sounds counterproductive.
So, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or
beyond
Thursday,
reasonable,
while we were
beyond
watching the
reasonable
preliminary
doubt.
hearings,
Hang on, that's to beyond reasonable doubt, not a
beyond
shadow
reasonable
of a doubt.
doubt. Okay,
Yeah.
beyond reasonable doubt that he's guilty. That's
Yes.
their job, to provide the totality of the most
Right.
damning evidence that they have
Yes,
at the preliminary hearing.
yes, that's
Monday
part of
through
it. Yes.
Thursday, when cameras were allowed in the courtroom,
Mhm.
we heard a lot about DNA.
Yeah.
We heard about all the magic tricks, by the way, that were done on the DNA to make Tyler Robinson show up in the first place.
There was no
Versus
magic tricks.
only
Does he have a
Lance
painting
Twigg.
That's just
with
made up.
Tarantino
It was
behind
quite the
him for some
explanation.
reason?
It
No,
was
it-
a
no, it-
it
big
really
process
wasn't.
that went into that. That was kind of a outside
No,
of the
there
standard.
really wasn't a big process that
outside
went
of the
into it.
standard. Are you a DNA expert?
No, I listened to the testimony. What is the
Okay.
big?
All
What
right,
is the big kerfluffle? What was the
Yeah,
magic
well,
trick?
The big kerfluffle was when on Friday they turned the cameras off, and here comes the Bindergate crew rolling into town. Officer Tatum, Jack Posobiec, Benny Johnson, behind closed doors with no cameras in there. Don Jr., they're all there putting on quite the
So?
spectacle for the Fox News people.
Yeah.
And then they come out and they said, we saw the video. We saw
What
it.
does that have to do with the DNA, Stu?
Because the DNA, which isn't enough because I don't know how it got there.
Wait, how did we
Okay,
get
so-
to the DNA from this?
Okay,
What are you talking about,
Listen,
dude?
none of what we have heard, none of the bullshit that you're spewing as the guy who's paid by Turning Point,
It was not paid by Turning Point.
none
Lie
of
again.
what the prosecution said in the courtroom is enough to convince anybody that Tyler Robinson shot
Yeah, but Stu,
Charlie
you
Kirk.
just made a claim. You
Which
just said
is
that they did a
why-
bunch of magic tricks to the
Which
DNA. I
is
asked you
why-
what,
hold on.
and you said Jack
Okay,
Posobiec went in and
let's
lied
say
to the
no
camera
magic
about a
tricks
video.
were done. Let's say
What?
no magic tricks were
Okay,
done,
great.
and
Let's
Tyler
say none.
Robinson's DNA was found on a gun that apparently is his own. Okay, great.
Uh huh. Yeah.
And we can get to that.
Okay, let's.
My DNA is on this pen.
Uh huh.
If my audio video guy comes and takes this pen and walks out and stabs somebody,
Yeah.
my DNA is on it. Does that mean that I stabbed that person? No. Okay. Well, anyways, none
What?
of the evidence
What
that
does
was
that have to do with
presented-
anything?
None of the evidence.
These pieces of evidence don't exist in a vacuum. They're all together. It paints a whole story. Tyler Robinson's DNA is on all of this. Tyler Robinson's face is on all these cameras. Tyler Robinson's vehicle is here. Tyler Robinson's confessions are here. When they all come together, it's who else could it possibly be? That's kind of his point. But they think it all exists in a vacuum, that every single piece of evidence belongs to, needs to be completely and totally separate and not considered with the rest of the evidence at all. I mean, this is so dumb.
Because the DNA wasn't enough.
By itself, it wouldn't be
the
enough.
confession
the
wasn't
fact
enough.
that he happened to,
Everybody knows that it's not enough, which is why
Yeah.
Jack Posobiec and Benny Johnson lied. It's why they misrepresented what happened in the
that's
courtroom.
just, bro.
That's
That
why they
doesn't-
came out
You
of the
see how you
courtroom
get
and
to a
lied, because
conclusion?
they know
You
that
see
what
how you-
has been
that
shown
makes-
is not enough evidence to
bro.
convince anybody
Stu.
that putting this patsy to death is
How did you get to the
reasonable.
conclusion,
Stu.
Stu? How do you get to the conclusion that because
Jack Posobiec
it
lied?
wouldn't be enough, it wouldn't be enough if some guy out in your parking lot stabs somebody with your pin that your DNA was on it, that somehow that means Jack Posobiec has to lie about seeing a video? That
Okay,
conclusion
no.
doesn't follow from what you just said. What?
Just crazy. Anyway, guys, Candace Owens, we're a little bit behind her here. We're about, how far are we behind? We're about 9 minutes behind her, I guess. So that's good enough. We'll watch the rest of this tomorrow. Tomorrow's live stream. because I'm getting burnt out watching Andrew ask a question and then Stu Peters just completely ignore it. You know what I mean? Just ignore it and keep filibustering like crazy. What is he thinking? Like, did he actually think that would make him look good? That's just absolute pure insanity. So here we go, guys. Let's jump right into the Candyland.
Thursday, of course, you know that is our Friday. We've had a lot of fun this week. Many, many tears were shed, most of them from Blakey Neff. I was remarking how odd it is that for 10 months straight, we were told that all the widow wants is transparency. Erica just wants transparency. She's asking the judge to show everyone everything so that there are no questions left. And then I share a video and they're like, lock her up, lock her up. You just can't make this stuff up.
Lock her up, lock her up. You just can't make this stuff up. Oh, man. Lock her all up. Where was it earlier? Let's see. Erica, Kirk, jail. Let's do that. Which one was it? Oh, where are we at? Here we are.
Is why it is impossible for me to think that Erica Kirk is not complicit somehow. Straight to jail, straight to jail. For questioning at least, Erica. I have seen enough, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen enough. Erica Kirk should be dragged into a police precinct for questioning like I...
Yep. You totally hate it when that happens to you, huh? It's so funny when Candace Owens can sit there and be like, drag Erica Kirk off to jail, and when people are like, arrest Candace Owens, she's like, you can't make this up. They're saying arrest me. Oh, my goodness.
So quite literally, just before we were going to go live today, Ashley, my producer, made a shocking
you were
discovery.
The same thing you were when you told Erica, we're mentioning Erica Kirk getting dragged off? No, a little bit of a different shirt there. It's ridiculous. You call for Erica Kirk to get arrested, and then when people call for your arrest, this is the face you make. Just evil.
About the medical examiner who performed Charlie's autopsy. And I'm currently pretty unwell.
Somatic Witch,
over it,
Google Stu Peters
I
and
just
Jesse
can't
Ventura.
Take this anymore.
Thank you for that $2. Thank you. I'll Google that.
Everything is just so obviously wrong. Fastest autopsy ever. Just in the middle of the night, a couple of hours, he's done. Who did this? Who performed this? Now we've got the chief medical examiner resigning. The person who signed off on it, though, is one that...
Whoa. Hold on. In the year 2000, Stu Peters conned his way into staying at the Minnesota governor's mansion by lying to Jesse Ventura's son. Peters pretended to have Hollywood ties and claimed to be an actor's brother, living at the residence for about a month before being exposed as an imposter. Bro, that is insane. Like, that is actually insane. Holy crap. I had no idea Stu Peters was a con man. Stu. That is so crazy. Thank you all for raising that issue. I had no idea that Stu Peters was a genuine con artist.
That we are going to be speaking about, Dr. Andrew Guajardo. And there's more because we also received a pretty explosive tip regarding the clothing of Charlie's...
Great. An explosive tip, huh? Let's hear it.
...security team and where that went. You remember the clothing they were wearing in the car en route to the hospital. They were covered in blood. The amazing Mikey McCoy got them scrubs.
Cool.
Well, we have an idea what may have happened to the clothing thereafter. And we are going to stick with the hospital theme today because we've all been wondering where the heck all of the hospital witnesses are. Like, this is an ER, sir. Where are the doctors, nurses?
That would violate HIPAA, Candace. What? Actively calling for medical professionals to violate HIPAA. Right there. As she does. Isn't that wild?
Other patients. It's almost as though no one was there but Turning Point USA. How could that be? Well, we've come across a source, and the story that we've been told is incredible. And if true, it very much implies foreknowledge of Charlie's assassination. So let's get right into it. Welcome back to Candace.
All right, guys. So what she's saying is the hospital was also in on Charlie Kirk's murder. There you go. There you go. Hey, Orthodoxy. I appreciate the Hail Marys, but I'm going to have to kick you out of here if you keep spamming. But I do appreciate the prayers. Okay? I don't mind prayers at all. But right now, no more spamming in the chat, okay? We just don't spam like that. Very, very simple. Having a couple of these is okay. Let's see, that's the only thing you've ever said in here, though, is Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. Jesus, Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Okay. Praying for chat. No. I totally understand, but it is spam. It when you constantly have to repeat. Like, I appreciate the prayers. I'm telling you, I really do. I really do. It's just doing it too much. No, you're good. You're good, Orthodoxy. Like I said, I genuinely do appreciate the prayer. I really do. It's a very nice thing. I don't mind it at all. But still, it's just, it's too much for chat. So, people want to have their messages read out too and stuff like that. It's just fair. It's just courtesy for the chat is all. But thank you. I do appreciate it. Like I said, I really do.
I don't even know where to begin, so we're just going to start, okay? His name is Dr. Andrew Guajardo.
Sounds to me like we're starting at the hospital. That's wild. It's almost like that's what you were talking about.
From New York. He moved to Utah in 2018 and was working as an assistant at the medical examiner's office.
Is that Sam Hyde? Hold on. That's awesome. Yeah. Is this Sam Hyde? Who is this? What's going on here? That's wild.
In 2024, when our chief medical examiner, Dr. Deidre Amaro, began to rule the roost, she decided to select him as her deputy. So he was promoted in 2024 when she got there to the role of deputy chief examiner. Okay. So Charlie Kirk, we were told, things are kind of shifting now, but we were really told that he was murdered by a trans furry kid on a rooftop.
You can't keep getting away with
gamer. I do want to say there's still no proof of him being trans or into trans furries beyond the influencers that were immediately sent out to tell us this was a left versus right war.
Candace, we have text messages and Discord logs. What do you mean there's no proof? Why do you lie to your audience like that? It's okay if you go, there's evidence out there, but I don't believe it. I think it's fake. But telling your audience that it actually doesn't exist at all is insane. That's not okay to do. That's not okay to do at all. There's many things you put out there that I say I don't believe in, but I don't deny that you have put stuff out there. So what the heck? Like your text messages with Charlie Kirk. I say I don't believe them at all. Because according to your rules, no dates and no timestamps means they're faking gay. And all of yours seem to not have, or for the most part, 90% of them don't have dates or timestamps. So I have to assume they're faking gay. I mean, that's your rules, Candace. We play by your rules, right? You don't want to play by your rules whenever you're getting hit with your own rules, though? Oh, that's tough. They're your rules. Stick by them. But at the end of the day, too, I don't believe in the picture of you with Charlie holding the fish. Because when I Google that day, X says, or not just X, anything, any source says that Candace Owens was not on that fishing trip with Charlie Kirk. I find that to be a discrepancy that you won't address. And it's on the same boat that Charlie Kirk is with all these senators and all these other people. I think Lauren Boebert was there and a couple other people. So I don't understand. If these people couldn't corroborate you being there, why did you put yourself on the same boat with Charlie? I mean, it's just things like that, right? But I do show when she's like, hey, I've shown evidence I was on a fishing trip with Charlie. I will say, yes, she has shown evidence, but I believe that evidence to be fake based on the circumstances of the information that we have publicly as to who went on that fishing trip. Somehow, Candace Owens was not on that fishing trip, according to every source. But it's only her and Charlie on the boat. But if you look at the original picture, when Charlie's at the end of that same boat, there's like 5 other people with him. It's interesting. Just pointing it out there. But yeah, anyway, yeah, she's got a crazy, oh man, her face, every time you pause, it's just...
That there was an
It's so funny.
LGBTQ narrative here. We were also told that
Why do you
he
defend the left so
confessed to
much?
his crime to his friends, his fellow gamers on Discord. Here are some of those messages that he tells them that he's speaking to people, Jug Barnaby.
Yeah. Jug/Barnaby. Okay. Let's see. Hey, guys, I have bad news for y'all. It was me at UVU yesterday. Hey, Lynn Pell, thank you so much for joining as a troll. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff and friend, all this stuff. I'm actually scared the F out of me for a second. That actually scared me. LMAO, my heart started racing, dude. I don't follow. Because you're saying it was you. It was. No, it wasn't. Look up the pictures of the surveillance footage. It was me. Thanks again for everything. You're genuinely scaring me, buddy. You aren't serious, right? I'm serious. That seems like a normal conversation, actually, for something like that to happen.
Marina, we've got a girl in there, a guy in there, and he says,
Well, keep in mind, some of these people may be trans, Candace.
hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few
Very
moments.
funny.
Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you for everything. It's just such an odd thing to do.
Hey, Mama
to
Bear,
just
thank you for stopping by.
Keep confessing, right? Lance Twiggs, Tyler Robinson's alleged boyfriend, has indicated in his interview that Tyler was very into gaming. Not politics, he said, but gaming.
Incorrect. Lance Twiggs himself said that he talked about Trump and stuff like that all of the time. All of the time. He didn't hear him particularly talk about Charlie Kirk, but all of the time he heard Tyler Robinson talk about Trump.
So we have a storyline which involves trans furry gamers, to be specific.
Okay.
Now, of course, the majority of the public is suspicious, right? Suspicious to say the least over the text messages, the Discord confessions, even more so after seeing the
Sure. Of course. You could be suspicious all you want. No one's going to get onto you for that. Hey, Edie, sending 5 troll gift memberships. Thank you so much for that. Who all ended up getting them here? We got Dent Sea Scrolls is now a member. We got Madam X. Wait, no. That came up different. Madam, we don't have to necessarily argue theology. It's whatever, honestly. I mean, up to you guys, I guess, but I don't know. I think that's kind of a long rabbit hole of something that gets off topic for the most part. Let's see. We have Elias616 getting a membership. We have, it keeps wanting to skip down and not let me read them off. We do have Madam getting in a membership. What the heck? I knew I saw it and it glitched it out. Okay, cool. Autumn Thomas also received a membership there, and Velvet Lace. Heck yeah. Welcome aboard, guys. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much, Edie. You're amazing.
Spider-Man ninja who jumped from a lousy rooftop with the skill,
God, she's still
precision,
saying
and fearlessness of a SEAL Team 6 member.
Would Spider-Man and a ninja get
After
a leg
listening to the
injury from
preliminary hearing,
jumping
we
off 20
suspect that
feet?
Tyler, it's plausible, could have been set up by Lance. His prints are everywhere. He lives with him. He had the login to, it's plausible that he could have a login to his boyfriend's Discord. That wouldn't be strange when you're dating someone and living with them.
My subscribers are going
His
up
prints
crazy,
were
yeah.
less degraded.
I kind of have a video that might be going viral right now. It's a short, but it's like going crazy. Wild and Wired Media, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Welcome aboard as a troll. Yeah, I got a short that's like taking off like crazy right now, and I did not know where this was coming from, and then I finally saw it, and I was like, oh, crazy. So I might be able to get to 1 million views on it or so. Pretty awesome. We'll see what happens. Thank you all so much, but it always helps, no matter how many people are here. If you're not subscribed, hitting that subscribe button and hitting that like button is the absolute best way to support this channel. Thank you all so much for being here. Let's get that up like crazy, and let's make some waves. We'll get right back into Candace's eyesight here, and we're going to have some fun with that.
Certainly.
We'll get too big
Then
to it
Tyler
for her to
Robinson's
ignore.
were on the gun, which had dust in the barrel, so likely wasn't even fired. Who could have had access to
You're
Tyler's
good,
stuff?
Wired and Wired
The
Media. Thank you
Discord
so
element
much.
just feels a little fetty, right? Just a little
Fetty?
federal trappy.
Oh, not like
I might
Fetty.
say.
I thought she was talking rap.
So who is this Dr. Andrew Guajardo, right? Anything that might be of interest in his background. That was kind of
No
how
idea.
Ashley began. She was like, oh, I'm wondering about the medical examiner. I wonder who he is. I said, yeah, we should get to that. And it turns
Okay.
out there's something very interesting to know about him. And it's who he's married to. His wife
Miriam
is
Adelson.
someone who might be of interest, who might be
Donald
an
Trump.
expert in this category. Honestly, they might bring her in as an expert.
Dr.
Because
Fauci.
Dr. Andrew Guajardo is married to a furry.
Oh, God.
I kid you not. Or at least, the very least we can assert is that he's married to someone who encourages, supports, works with, and propagates the culture of furries and occasionally dresses up as one herself. He's married to a woman named Dr. Ashley Brown Guajardo. And here she is. Meet Ashley.
Okay.
Now we obviously turned the sound off because there was
Okay.
music as she was dancing as a furry, and she was promoting her book, and she used the hashtag, furry. We're going to read what this book is about before I tell you more about her, because this is just so incredible. Let's pull this penguin.
That's like saying all cosplayers are trans. What are you doing? So she's a furry. Is she an LGBTQ trans furry that's a part of an underground like chat room or something like that? Like, okay. So she's a freaking furry. What's your point?
Random House book that she was promoting. She published this book, Play Like a Fangirl. Okay.
Cool.
And can you scroll down because it tells you us the description. I don't know if you can make that bigger, but my eyesight's always so bad during pregnancy. It says
every
that the
trans
book
person
description is
don't know
about
if you
how
can make that
women and
bigger.
queer gamers can express and elicit excitement, creativity, and desire in online gaming communities and beyond. How do cosplayers, modders, fan artists, fan fiction authors, and TikTok content creators build communities for marginalized and underserved fans of games? In Play Like a Fangirl, Christine and Ashley and Tanya, these are the authors, are going to look at the collective efforts of such fans to create meaningful and arousing connections to the video game worlds, to characters, and to one another.
Okay.
Using pleasure as a lens, they show how fans' playful practices both reflect current cultural values and shape how we relate to video games and ourselves. They develop the concept of what they call the fangirl gaze to show how communities of fangirls can be regarded as oppositional, subversive, and transformative in terms of societal expectations and gender, play, and sex. Okay, you get the idea. Now, you're probably wondering how
Cool.
Ashley became a doctor. How did she become a doctor? Well,
She probably went to school. This was a hard one to figure out, but if I had to guess, she probably went to school.
sociology, right? Sociology is how she climbed the teaching ladder after achieving her degree. And guess where she achieved it? At Arizona State University. She then earned her PhD in sociology overseas at the University of Manchester, and then she became a teacher. She's access to preschool kids. What we learned from her bio is that, quote, previously, Dr. Guajardo was faculty at Brunel University in London, and then the University of Utah. Been there for almost 10 years, last 10 years.
Oh, by the way, Velvet
She
Lace,
won
I
a
think I missed your super sticker. Thank you for that $3 super sticker. Wanted to make sure I got that. Debbie Rock for $2 says, absolutely love your podcast. Hope it grows. Thank you guys so much. You guys are making it grow like crazy. I have 444 people in here somehow, and that is nuts. Thank you all so much for being here. I have 436. Oh, wait, no, that's the viewers. Never mind. I have 248 likes. Thank you all so much. Let's get those likes up there. Let's get 1,000 people in here tonight. Can we do that? Do you guys think we could hit that like button and subscribe enough to get this stream boosted all the way up to 1,000? Let's do something crazy. I don't know. I feel like swinging wild here tonight, guys.
Awards for innovative and inclusive teaching at both institutions. Since 2017, she's hosted a weekly educational Twitch stream on games, user
Right.
research models.
Candace, what
Methods,
is the
pardon.
point of this?
She's also held several leadership positions in industry
All right, I get it.
research. I would
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
give me an association, a 501c3. We'll get money in there.
Okay.
Anyway, as I told you, she's the author of many books, but also the author of Sexuality in Role-Playing Games, dozens
my
of
God,
book
we're
chapters,
still going
journal
over her
articles on
background.
fandom,
Why?
sexuality, particularly video games, tabletop role-playing games, and she's currently working on a book which explores how fantasy can shape your sexual desire. But the biggest thing that I want to underscore is just how deeply submerged she is in gamer culture, how deeply tied she is to the gamer community. And for the last 10 years, she's been in Utah.
Cool. Did she write the bullets?
She works and explains the philosophy of how gamers can engage with characters, create characters outside of themselves. That is her expertise. She encourages and explains how people effectively can sort of separate from their real life persona. And that, by the way, is what a furry is. It's not like it's the LGBTQIA thing. I had to look this up. I'm going to read this to you because I was like, I don't even know what a furry is. It says, the term furry describes a diverse community of fans, writers, gamers, and role players. Most furries create themselves an animal character called their fursona.
Yep.
With whom they identify and can function as an avatar within the community. So this is not me. This is my avatar.
Yes.
That is separate from me. So you guys remember when Lance was testifying?
Yes, it is a character that they play. Yep. Sure is.
And he said at the preliminary hearing that he goes by Luna. And for some reason, I felt like it was going to be some anime. I was like, what? I don't think he's trans. I think this is going to be some gamer thing. I suspect that is what Luna is. It's a gaming character that he engages with outside of Lance Twiggs.
No. It's like, think of it as an alternate personality. Think of it as, this is still them, but it's a character that they would like to bring into reality. It's what they really want to be. It's the same thing as pretty much being trans to a degree. It is an alternate ego, except with a trans person, you're really going permanent. And you're really going for the opposite gender, you know. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who take the fursona way too serious and also do surgeries. Some of them will get like the snake tongue thing. Some of them will get permanent things installed under their skin. There are people out there who take the fursona thing way too far, right? Some of them do it for just fun. Some people like just dressing up and cosplaying. Some people take it a lot more literal. Some people aren't that serious about fursona at all and just does it to play a little fun and have a little bit of role play. There are many, many, many different levels of it, just like every single other thing out there. Like any guitarist. There are guitarists out there who only know how to play 3 songs, and that's all they're ever satisfied with. That's all they'll ever play. Then there are guitarists who go a little bit deeper. They learn a lot more songs, but they're still casual. Then there's the ones who write their own music and are still casual. There are ones out there who write their own music and try to make it big. There are the ones out there who are perfectionists who want to be absolute, like, mastery of everything. And there are also casual ones that want to be a mastery of everything and not want to actually make it big or do anything famous either. There are so many different versions of guitarists out there, it's ridiculous. And it's going to be the same thing with everything else out there, Candace. So you trying to put this all in a box and try to frame it as like, oh, now that I know this information, now we can show that, Lance Twiggs isn't really a trans person, or that this lady here is conditioning these people into doing something, or that she was actually in on the cover-up somehow. Like, it's just completely pointless because it's all speculation at the end of the day. Robert Stubblefield for $10 says,
okay.
Whoops. Candace is evil, and I love the way you're exposing her lies and stupidity. Take my money and please keep it up, man. Thank you so much for that. What is that symbol after? Like a little weird symbol there in the yellow, barely showing up. But I can barely see it. It's interesting. But thank you so much for that, man. I really appreciate that, dude.
Here's how Dr. Ashley might explain how that engagement works. Take a listen.
So erotic roleplay is different from cybersex in the sense that in erotic roleplay, you have this roleplay
She's old enough to where she still uses the term cyber. Holy cow.
component, meaning that people are not, at least explicitly, playing as themselves. They are not seeking out sexual interaction in a game or in a chat room or otherwise as the human being that they are in their day-to-day life. They are playing the role of a character, perhaps in a fantasy world, perhaps from a popular franchise like Star Wars, or just their own original character, but they are playing this character that is different from them with different wants, needs, hopes, and dreams, and they're engaging with erotic content. So cybersex, on the other hand, would be when people want to engage with sexual content online, or, if it's phone sex, then it's through the phone, but that would be as themselves. So in terms of practice, what are we actually talking about? Well, the two are very similar, because at the end of the day, you're still using a keyboard to type out your erotic thoughts and feelings and emotions. The difference being that one person is doing it as a character and one person is doing it as themselves.
Great.
Okay. I would like to again stress the point that Dr. Ashley has spent the last...
By the end of this, poor George Farmer is going to be dressed up like a duck. You know what I mean? He's going to be dressed up like a duck by all the end of this after Candace Owens gets done going down this rabbit hole and getting her rocks off. She's going to put him in a duck costume. I don't know why. I could see him as just like this regular green-headed mallard. That's what Candace is going to go after. And she's going to be the Black Swan.
10 years working as a professor.
I'm losing my mind, guys.
Okay. At the University of Utah in Salt Lake City, encouraging her students and her gamers to join her on her Discord, to follow her Twitch, her streamer account. And I'm wondering, how big can this community of gamers that are into this be throughout the state of Utah?
Probably huge and small at the same time, because there's going to be really big ones and there's also going to be very small ones everywhere, just like everything else out there. You like a good example, Candace, you have a huge community. I do very similar things. So let's say you were a furry and I was a furry. My audience would be about 33,261 people. And yours would be about 6 million. But it's crazy how we're talking about the same things and doing the same stuff for the most part, huh, Candace? It's just like everything else out there.
I'm wondering, have we identified everybody on this Discord chat? I'm wondering, is this a coincidence? How big can this community be? And similar...
It's massive, Candace. You couldn't have Googled that?
Dr. Amara. Dr. Amara has left the building. She's no longer at Utah. Ashley and her husband they've now gone.
Okay. So there are over 250,000 people in the United States who identify as part of the furry fandom. No exact research or anything like that. That's a lot of people. That's a good amount of people, Candace. 250,000 is quite the community. Like, it's pretty big. That's just the United States. How about the, we'll go, instead of the U.S., world. There's like somewhere between 1.4 million and 2.8 million in the world. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's actually a decently large community. Pat the Plumber for $5 says, hey, Artie, you know Sean McVay of King Buffalo? That dude is a musical genius. You should check them out when you have time. Absolutely. Is the band called King Buffalo? That sounds sick. Heck yeah. I'll definitely look them up. You said Sean McVay. I'll definitely look that up. King Buffalo. Heck yeah, that sounds like a Native American metal band. Love My Aussie for $2 says, is she projecting what she wants to do? Oh, I think so. I think she's dressing up her husband as a mallard, and she's going to be the Black Swan for sure. Just based on how she's dressed and all. Why not?
On to New York. He's accepted. Now he's going to be the chief medical examiner in New York, and she's going to be teaching at NYU. We should pull up her LinkedIn, by the way. We should pull up just to show, like, not barred from being around kids, actually encourages it. Now she's the assistant arts professor at NYU full-time. So they up and left associate professor. I guess she left ahead of her husband. I don't think that's right because he didn't leave until after, obviously, he did the medical examiner's office, and they are married. But assistant professor, University of Utah. She's just been around students for a very long time.
Cool.
So again, I'll ask the question, how big can this particular gaming furry create a character that is outside of yourself? Join me on Discord, Twitch community in Utah be? Has she ever come across Lance Twigs? That'd be a question.
If I had to guess, based on the percentage, it's probably about 20,000 people. How many people in Utah are furries? Several thousand members, it says. Anthro Weekend in Utah, the state's yearly convention held at Davis Conference Center in Layton Drew, just they are in Layton, drew over 2,600 attendees. Online groups, local communities hubs, such as regional Facebook and forum groups, historically track over 1,200 members. Well, I guess that's 1,200 members online in Utah. I imagine that Anthro Weekend in Utah probably draws people from out of state, so that may be the case. But yeah, let's see. r/furry, any Utah furries. Quite a few of us. Are you on Facebook? Yes, in the group. utahfurs.org. Okay, let's go there. Okay. Where they can come together. Let's see. They have Retro Game Wolf, so they have their own store. They have the Fluff, which is their another place. They have Art Jam at Salt Lake Coffee Break. And then they have Utah Fur Bowl. So they have an entire bowling league. They have Utah County Fur Meetup monthly. D&D themed furry bar night, 21 and up. Wow, they have an entire bar for D&D. That's kind of crazy. But that's furries too, though. Be cool to. I've never really played D&D before. May have to go out and try that one time. They have a furry bonfire coming up for 2026 in August and in September. Huh. Yeah, they got a lot. Is there any, is there an About Us? Is there anything kind of like a, let's see, About Us. Here we go. Who are we? Group history. Does it give numbers? Hiking trips, bars, nightclubs. They have quite the community here. How many people show up? Huh. Interesting. Well, how about this? How many people are involved with utahfurs.org? Has over 500 active members. Okay. And they are the ones who run the 2,600 attendee convention. Okay. Cool. Well, there you go. So, yeah, Candace, almost 3,000 people in Utah are furries, at least. So, I don't know. What do you say about that?
I would ask. I just feel like that's a question that I would like to know the answer to across her 10-year career in Utah.
It's not hard. It didn't take me long.
And also being on the board and working with these outside organizations and associations, studying these people and encouraging this lifestyle.
Studying these people
I'll
like
leave it
they
at
are
that.
freaks of nature. All right.
Because I am just jaw on the floor with all of this. So Charlie effectively had a lesbian, because Dr. Amaro was dating a woman, and Deidre Amaro, and I don't know what to describe.
Did you just say about
Dr.
a lesbian?
Andrew Guajardo, I guess. I don't know what he's married to. He's got to be remotely into this. Too many
I have no idea,
coincidences.
Candace.
Moving on from that, interesting little tidbit for you. Remember how Frank Turek described
Is that it? That's it? We're just going to glaze over all that now? Thanks for dumping this doctor's personal information, I guess. I didn't care to know any of this. That's all? That's your conclusion? We spent this long on furry crap for nothing. Okay. Thanks. Oh, wow. This is something I definitely did not need to know. And did not care to know at all.
them
What a waste of
receiving
time.
scrubs from the hospital. And I've always found that to be remarkably suspicious. You don't just get surgical scrubs at an ER.
They're
because you're
paper scrubs, Candace. Have you ever been in a hospital?
covered in blood.
They go on over your
Still,
clothes.
by the way, nobody knows why or how he got that blood on him, because if Brian Harpole is to be believed, he was doing all of the work while Rick Cutler was holding him, while Frank was praying in the back. So we asked the question, how could these stories be so different? Where Frank
Did
says
she
he
say
did CPR.
Charlie married a... Did he say Charlie? Did she say Charlie? Did I miss that? Did she say Charlie married a lesbian? There is no freaking way she made that comment, right?
Because I am just jaw on the floor with all of this. So Charlie effectively had a lesbian, because Dr. Amaro was dating a woman.
What? Why would she even say that? Why would she come out and say that now? I don't understand. Did she misspeak? I'm so confused by what she just said. I don't get it.
All of this. So Charlie effectively had a lesbian, because Dr. Amaro was dating a woman.
Someone was dating a woman. Who's dating a woman?
With all of this. So Charlie effectively had a lesbian, because Dr. Amaro was dating a woman.
After his mom was dating a woman? I have no
and
idea.
Deidre Amaro and Andrew Guajardo, I guess, I don't know what he's married to. He's got to be remotely into this. Too many coincidences.
Is she trying to say, oh, well, a gay person operated on Charlie, so therefore LGBTQ not bad? Is that the little seed she's trying to lay? Is she trying to lay some groundwork to kind of do that? Is that really what she's doing? Because nobody would have cared if a lesbian doctor operated on Charlie. Like, what? But obviously the doctor's married to a male doctor as well. I don't think that makes her a lesbo. But even so, why would we care if a lesbian doctor worked on Charlie? I don't get it. Yeah, Dr. LGBTQ. Yeah. Why would that matter, Candace?
Moving on from that, interesting little hospitals for too many. What he's
When
married
the lizard
to,
frills out,
he's got
it's scared.
to be.
Okay, anyway, we'll get to Frank Turek.
Still, by the way, nobody knows why or how he got that blood on him, because if Brian Harpole is to be believed, he was doing all of the work while Rick Cutler was holding him, while Frank was praying in the back. So
Okay, yeah.
we asked the question, how could these stories be so different, where Frank says he did CPR and Brian says he didn't?
I don't know. You bring it up like every week and you never ask him really, or you never like really do anything about it. So
Did Frank
are we going to bring
just
up this
write
same
himself
thing again?
into the story because he needed to explain why he took off all of his clothes to the hospital and was wearing scrubs? Because it would be pretty weird if you did that.
Why is the back
If you were
of her
not,
hair
in fact,
glowing
covered in
purple?
blood. There'd have to be another
notice
reason
that?
that you did that if you were not, in fact, covered in blood. Like I said,
See?
Brian doesn't recall Frank
Oh, it's
doing
a scrunchie. Never
CPR.
mind.
Frank says
I
Brian
thought
was
that was her
distracted and just didn't realize what he had done for the last 30 seconds. He just got distracted on this remarkably short car ride to the office and didn't
yeah.
see him lay Charlie down flat and start doing mouth-to-mouth CPR. Okay. But I'd wondered,
You don't do mouth to mouth anymore. That's not right. We haven't done mouth to mouth for CPR for like 10 years. No more mouth guards, none of that stuff. That's not taught anymore. You don't do it. It does nothing, because what you're doing is you're effectively breathing CO2 into the lungs. And what that does is that starves their lungs out for more air. And it just turns out to actually not be a good thing. You don't want to do that. You just want to get the heart beating. Because once the heart's beating, you'll start breathing on your own again. But yeah, as for actually just inflating their lungs with CO2, I mean, you could try and breathe in the most amount of fresh air, but the CO2 rises to the top every time. You're not going to provide much air to the person at all, so it's just pointless, and it actually can cause more damage than doing good. We've just found it to be not effective at all. But Candace Owens has not taken a CPR class probably in the last 20 years.
we had all sort of wondered aloud, what exactly happened to their clothes then, right? Brian's, I cut Charlie, I took the shower. What happened to the clothes? Well, I will say Frank Turek's name was not explicitly mentioned, but I did hear that the feds, the FBI, took the clothes from certain members of Charlie's security team down to their boxer briefs.
Is there any proof of this?
Took their clothes. Down to their boxer briefs, the FBI took their clothing. So how
Proof?
are we to digest that?
I don't know, with proof.
Well, in a normal scenario, we would think...
Can I get a warm glass of proof
great.
with it?
They obviously did that in an effort to collect evidence. That's what they should be doing. Bagging.
Now you're saying they obviously did it. See, you make a claim, you don't give us proof. You're like, the FBI took all their clothes. Why did you come to that conclusion, Candace? The scrubs they were given are paper scrubs that go over the top of their clothing. Over the top of their clothing. You've never been to a hospital before, it seems like. Anytime I go over, like if I visit my wife and stuff like that, there are some times I have to get paper scrubs on in order to go into the same rooms or to go see her in general. Depends on where she's at. There are some times where you got to do that. Why is it that you think differently? Why do you think they got these nice, high-quality scrubs to put on? Because I'm telling you, they don't do that in the hospital. They're paper scrubs. They're actually plastic, but they call them paper scrubs.
The clothing and sending it to be stored for further examination or in case it comes up. Maybe further testing. Maybe it'll come up in throughout the course of the court cases. But this is not a normal situation. These feds were not doing anything normal, right? We know this because we learned that the feds immediately had the car towed, sent away, wanted it cleaned, and resold. It didn't.
That never happened, though. You've never provided proof that that ever happened.
Take it and go, let's keep this for evidence. They said, get rid of the car. So I don't think that they said, get rid of the car, but let's keep Brian Harpole's or Rick Cutler's boxers for evidence. In my mind, they likely took their clothes and had them destroyed. That's in my mind. I don't know that for
You don't know any of it. You made all this up.
certain.
It's all made
It's
up.
an unknowable thing unless you are Tyler Robinson's defense team and you can demand access to that sort of information, which I would if I was on Tyler Robinson's defense. Down to the boxers.
Yeah, I would too if I were Tyler
Feds took
Robinson's
it.
defense. It's like they probably would if it was real.
You see, I'm a person who actually, just to be clear, so that I'm on record, I want the judge to come back in September and say that there is enough evidence to move the case forward, that the influencers were convincing. Me and Turning Point in that regard, we're kind of rooting for the same thing.
You just have been saying that Tyler Robinson's innocent and that as an innocent man, he shouldn't be put to death or anything like that. And now you're like, oh, I do hope that they actually go forward with it, though. Candace, if he's innocent, you should be open that he does not. Ooh, Walter's talking about Star Ocean, the video game, or the delicious sushi roll from Hoppa over in Owasso, Oklahoma, that everybody should go check out if they ever go to Owasso, Oklahoma. Greatest sushi place on the planet. I will bet that for sure. And for anybody who doesn't think they are actually Japanese and they are from Japan. They're very amazing people. So yeah, just putting that out there. But yeah, Star Ocean. Sick, man. Guys, if you all are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Make that number go up like crazy. Hit that like button. Thank you all so much for being here.
But for different reasons. I personally just want to see how long they can keep this farce going. I want more information to become available to the public. I want to see them do that.
I've been begging you for
That's going to
information,
happen
Candy.
more. Like, I don't know. My body cam just went out at the exact moment when I found the screwdriver. There's going to be a lot of that.
Candace, it tells you if you shut it off or if the battery dies at the end of the footage.
I want the story to become increasingly more cartoonish, for the influencers to become more radical, because I think it's needed for the world to awaken to what
So Tyler Robinson's death will be worth it to get your point across. Got it.
exactly it is that rules over us.
She loves sacrifice.
I also want to mention
Crazy.
a little bit more about this hospital. Another very interesting tip that we received, and I believe this is a potentially explosive lead. And in the interest of protecting the source, I'm
explosive
going
again,
to remove the narrative and just tell you the facts regarding what allegedly took place. Now, many of us have noted how odd it is that there were no eyewitnesses to the extremely erratic,
Ooh, thank you for the sub.
chaotic, and utterly improbable ER scene that was depicted by Brian Harpole, where are the witnesses? Where are the witnesses, we wondered, to this middle-aged man jumping on a stretcher which he treated himself
HIPAA.
to. Treat yourself, take a stretcher on your own if you feel you're important
Unbelievable.
enough. Then took out some scissors, who knows where he got those from, maybe from his bag, jumped onto the gunshot wound victim, cut a Freedom t-shirt in half to prep for a defibrillator that nobody mentioned to you, while going back and forth with the surgical team about what drugs to give to Charlie. That clip can never be played enough, by the way. It's so far beyond ludicrous that we should take a listen to it again.
We get to the hospital. Actually, we make it to the hospital through the traffic. We've got full wound pack in. We get out and we carry in to the door. Once we make it into the door, we see a gurney on the left-hand side. We put him on a gurney, and then I wheel him into a room. I start giving the patient information to the staff there. I ended up getting on top of him and cutting the shirt that he had on off, that white Freedom shirt. And so I cut it off so they could get to him, so that I didn't articulate this to them.
Hey, Jesus Freak of 2000. I do actually go to Joplin for fun every now and then. If you're near Joplin, Missouri, try Han the Sushi Man. I will absolutely give that a shot. For sure. Oh, for sure, man. I'm down. Yeah, Joplin, Missouri, that's a nice place. I love Joplin. Absolutely nice place. We actually do frequent Joplin probably about 3 to 4 times a year. So, yeah, Joplin's a great place to go to.
But I wanted to get that stuff off so they could put a defibrillator on him. And so, and then started talking about pushing drugs. And so I was back and forth with them on drugs and defibrillator. And so then, once you get that shirt cut off and moved out of the way, there's enough of medical professionals in there. And so
Joplin is a bit of a lightning rod for tornadoes.
And so
I don't know why.
Got out of their way and walked out of the room and stood outside the room and held guard on the outside door of the room so nobody else could come in there.
Okay.
What?
So that's a man who fell asleep watching Dr. House reruns. Okay.
No. When you are the person of custody in there, they're going to explain to you what drugs that they're going to give him. They're probably going to give him adenosine, more than likely to restart his heart. They're going to pump him full of a myriad of different things to get his body going, and then they're going to try and get him on a ventilator. That was probably the plan the moment that he walked into the hospital, and they were just explaining that to Brian Harpool because Brian Harpool was in charge of the situation.
It's just, he just pictured himself as Dr. House. None
didn't
of that
do
was
any
real
doctor
life.
work.
But I love the part where he's like, and then I excused myself. Like I could have stayed in longer, obviously, but nobody asked me to leave. I just was like, okay, let's run through the drugs. I need 2 grams.
Candace, if somebody ends up, if you ended up in the hospital and someone brought you there, do you think they'd be like, okay, we have no idea what's wrong with her at all. You go ahead and go into the waiting room. We'll just figure this out. Or are you going to explain to the doctors what had taken place? This is where the injury is. This is what happened. This is what you're looking for. All this other stuff. Doctor's like, okay, well, here's what's probably going to end up happening. Since Charlie Kirk's back there right now, these guys are working on him. We're going to fill you in on some stuff to kind of let you know what's going to happen here. We're going to give him his best chance of survival by giving him adenosine. We're going to give him some probably Dilaudid or some propofol or something like that to put him under. And then they're going to end up putting him in here and starting the surgery. We're probably going to take him from this room once we stabilize him and get him into the actual surgical room first, because he's probably in the general ER area. So they're probably going to wheel him in there. They're going to hit him with all this stuff quickly, patch him up quickly, and then they're going to take him over to the actual operating room after that. They're going to run him down that way, and then they're going to get him into there. And then they're going to see if they could probably get him into a step-down unit or something like that afterwards. That's probably what they were trying to explain to Brian Harpool, the process of what was going to go down, while the other people took him and started working on him. But Candace Owens, again, she doesn't know, so she creates things. She makes things up.
2 milligrams of this, need 4 milligrams of this. Hey, bring in this. Who's got the tea? Okay. All right, that's enough for you guys. I'll see myself out.
That's not what happened, though. That's not even what he explained happened. See, you're just ignorant.
And I'm going to guard the door. None of that takes place in a real emergency room setting. We just know that doesn't take place in a real emergency room setting.
Correct. What you said doesn't take place in an emergency room hearing or in an emergency room setting. That's absolutely true, Candace. You're right. That's not what happened. That's not even what he said happened.
I am so tired of having to play stupid and interested in these narratives that they keep spinning that are coming from TV. Okay?
Yeah, Candace.
He is not in.
Chad USA says, where does he say he ordered meds? And correct. He didn't say he ever ordered meds. He said they started talking to him about the meds.
charge of deciding what medicine to give, to administer to a patient that you've rushed in and said has a gunshot wound. There would actually be more security protocol, because you'd be thinking, did a husband shoot his wife? You don't just trust people. Now he's got a pair of scissors. You just would be like, you need to see yourself out. Thank you. Not this guy.
No, not necessarily. Depends on where he was, depends on who he was talking to, depends on the situation. You have no idea, Candace.
Anyway,
You're
back
making
to our
things
question.
up.
Where are the witnesses to the events that took place that day?
That would violate
Timpanogos
HIPAA.
Hospital. Where are they? That's a scene. Didn't they see him doing that? Didn't they see Dr. Harpole House?
Why is she calling on these
listen
people
to
to violate
this.
HIPAA?
I am told that at some point in the 10 o'clock a.m. hour on September 10th, so to be clear, and this is crucial, over 2
Wow, more
hours
unverified
before
claims?
Charlie was shot, the Timpanogos hospital staff directed everyone who was in the emergency room into a different wing of the hospital. People were not sure what was going on.
That's
The staff was
insane to claim.
directed to move everyone in the emergency room to a different wing of the hospital.
In the emergency room, Candace? Do you have any idea what the difference between an emergency room would be and a different wing in the hospital in general? You're talking about sending these people probably into a med surge floor or something along those lines. They can't be there. What? That doesn't even make sense. The only way you could move an emergency room is if they have a second emergency room, which very few hospitals have multiple emergency rooms. The biggest hospital in Oklahoma, which is the 9th biggest hospital in the United States, only has one emergency room. What are you talking about? There's no way they could have feasibly done that. Unless this hospital has multiple emergency rooms. And Timpanogos? Hospital in Orem, Utah. Here we go. Let's see. AI mode. How many emergency rooms does it have? Timpanogos. I have got to see this. Has one main hospital-based emergency room, but its parent network, Mountain Star Healthcare, operates a freestanding emergency care center nearby to expand coverage. So they didn't, in order for them to have done it, which Morningstar Health here is in a completely different area. They would have to leave the building and go to a different building. So, yeah. Actually, no, I'm wrong, though. St. Francis does have two emergency hospitals. They have a regular one, and then they have a children's hospital, too. So those are two different ones. But they wouldn't move all the adults to the children's hospital because things are generally smaller there for a reason. They would just be unprepared. Mimi, for the $2, thank you so much. You didn't say anything, but I do appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Then after some time, at approximately 11:30 a.m., patients were informed that they would be transferred aboard shuttles to Intermountain Hospital. That's Utah Valley Hospital.
Oh, so she is bringing up, well, not Inter Valley, it would be Morningstar.
That's what happened.
No, it didn't.
All of the emergency room patients and all of their files were then transferred to Intermountain.
Not Intermountain.
So there's effectively no
Morningstar.
trail outside of hospital cameras, which have been conveniently seized by Kash Patel's office, of these patients ever having been at Timpanogos Hospital. Now, there are a few things I'd like to say here. First, there's always a trail. There's always a trail. Somebody somewhere drove that shuttle bus, booked the shuttle bus, saw the shuttle bus arriving at Intermountain
Westlake
Hospital,
Emergency
was
Center.
working at Intermountain Hospital when a shuttle bus stopped and people emerged and files mysteriously then were transferred. And if you are that somebody, that one body,
And Morningstar. So I was right. Mountain Star. So there's Mountain Star, not Morningstar, and Westlake. But they're two completely different buildings, but she's saying they shuttled everyone over there. Do you have any idea how insane that would be? How much work that would be to shuttle people who are in a emergency room to another building? Every one of them? That is a crazy claim that needs evidence, Candace. Eric Goss for the $5 says, where I live, our hospitals only have one ER. If there's an unusual situation, all you can do is bypass to a different hospital. Absolutely. Fat Samurai for the $5 says, just came in. Is she now claiming the hospitals were in on it too? She actually is, yes. That is exactly what she is doing. Thank you so much, Eric Goss, and thank you so much, Fat Samurai. You guys are amazing.
Please email us. By the way, I just want to mention, if you were one of those patients, you probably should also contact a lawyer, but you can't pull that off without something. There's also some techie people, maybe the Google satellite imagery, this shuttle, somebody's going to look up shuttle companies. Was there a weird trip that day?
You could do that.
Let's get on that.
Get an investigator, Candace.
More tips at CandaceOwens.com.
Hire a PI.
Because if we are able to prove that this took place beyond a shadow of a doubt with paperwork, then I would say foreknowledge of Charlie's assassination can no longer be disputed. So again, please email us more tips at CandaceOwens.com. Now, I can tell you I trust very much that this information is accurate. And I would now like to remind you guys of another fact, which I think supplies some credence to this claim.
Okay.
A story which we broke way back in October of last year, on October 28th, to be specific. We couldn't figure out why, but we were like, Charlie has a hospital file that was at Utah Valley Hospital. We were so confused by this. Somebody had leaked this to us. People who worked there were certain that he was being treated at Utah.
They're not just going to violate HIPAA. Why would a surgeon say anything about a steel neck? You wouldn't just violate HIPAA. Somebody sent me some private files that are protected by HIPAA directly to Candace Owens from a hospital. You know how often this lady contradicts herself? It's every single episode. Every single episode she contradicts herself. It is so frustrating. A surgeon would never violate HIPAA and say that Charlie Kirk had a steel neck. Oh, I have Charlie Kirk's hospital files. Wonder how you got them.
Valley at Intermountain, because not only did he have a file there, but they were specifically instructing people not to touch or open that file. Do you remember that? I'm going to show you that file again.
I don't
October
remember
28th.
that.
We did this episode. Do we have that file? Okay, they're going to pull it up in a second. You'll just let me know, Sky, when you have it. So we were completely bewildered. We were going, did they even go to Timpanogos? We don't have any witnesses at Timpanogos. We were asking the question, did they go to, did Charlie actually secretly go to Utah Valley Hospital? We had specifically mentioned that the Timpanogos hospital system, they use a system called Epic, did not speak to Utah Valley's Intermountain Health System. So it made it entirely no sense that Charlie's file would appear there, but it was there. And there was no way this person could have made it up because it had Charlie's personal details, even his home address back in Illinois, which was not available to the public. And we never got an answer on this. We were just like, why would Charlie's file be appearing where he is not?
Well, it's in the Epic system, right? And some people, it's not necessarily a file only at that hospital. It's in the Epic system. If you access Epic, you should be able to get it. And if you have Epic in your computer, in your database, chances are there's a possibility that you could have that file pulled. Whenever the 911 call ended up happening too, I wonder if every single hospital in the area was preparing and pulling his file. We have no idea, and they can do that, by the way. He's got a file in Epic. If there's a hospital nearby and they're like, oh, we might get Charlie Kirk here after this incident happened, they may have pulled it. Oh, by the way, it's HIPAA spelled HIPAA. It's always funny to watch Candace misspell it, though. That's my favorite part. Because she's supposed to be informed on what HIPAA is, but she's not.
I actually was inclined to think that Charlie was actually brought there. But now I'm going, well, if what this source, and I trust this source, is telling us is accurate, then we may have our answer.
Oh, really?
All emergency room files on September 10th, which included Charlie's, were transferred out. Electronic files were transferred out to Utah Valley. And that is...
Any proof?
A massive scandal.
Is it a scandal?
Massive scandal if we can get a hard evidence that proves that. And I'm going to show you that document now, by the way.
This speculation. You know what? I bet Candace Owens magically has all that evidence tomorrow's episode. And it's going to be something like this, where it's like everything's blurred out, and then, oh, Charles J. Kirk. Here's this number, MRN. I don't know if MRN is, I don't know if you're allowed to show this number. What is the MRN number on patient? What is MRN for a file? Medical record number. Great, Candace. Why are you showing his medical record number? That's for everything. Good job, you moron. You bleeped out his address, but guess what? It doesn't matter. What an absolute idiot.
There he was in there,
get off of
and
that.
his and other and Charlie. There is more.
You're an idiot,
and
Candace.
that I could tell you, but I think it would identify a source, so I would rather not do that. All right, you guys, we should definitely take a break. I think we're about 30 minutes into this.
Good God. Like, how dumb is she? Like, good God. Candace Owens just showed what an absolute idiot. Like, let me just make sure. Maybe I'm overreacting. Is it bad to leak someone's medical record number? Yes, it's highly problematic and potentially illegal to leak someone's medical record number. Yes. Charlie Kirk's medical. Sorry, I'm making a tweet. Why not? I'm going to show people this. So that's crazy that she just showed Charlie Kirk's medical record number. That is a really stupid thing to do, and I hope she gets sued over that. I can't believe that. Now she potentially has just leaked a ton of information about Charlie Kirk's personal medical history.
Right back.
That is crazy.
All right, you guys, our great nation turned into human packages.
I love doing this.
Candace. One already mentioning in the chat, great idea. Where /Candace. I see someone already mentioning in the chat, great idea. Where are the flock cameras? Surely we would be able to catch that shuttle on there. Yes, we should be able to do what's it called, a gamma request in the state of Utah. Somebody's going to catch this shuttle. I just know that's just very
Why don't you ever
precise
do
and
any of this? Why don't
specific,
you
and
ever
like I said,
really like actually FOIA things that exist? And why don't you ever try to get like flock camera footage or something? Why don't you hire a private investigator, Candace? You've only had a year to do this.
I trust the source. So go Max, people. Speaking of which, yesterday we received so many emails from surgeons and doctors and people that are
You received 2 from Andrew Wilson.
in the medical field, because I did not even bother to traverse and give my medical opinion because I'm not informed. I
Okay,
trust
let's hear
the
you
people
twist Andrew Wilson's
who
words here.
work in these industries to tell me things I need to notice. Similar to the t-shirt, and people going, that's a t-shirt on the ground. That's a t-shirt. It turns into plastic. People
Brown plastic.
who work
It turns into brown paper plastic. Okay.
in the medical industry were deeply bothered by Charlie's medical exam, the little bit that was published by
Absolutely
the prosecution in their
facts, pure
filing
madness.
yesterday. And I just wanted to read you a couple of these emails that we received. This person wrote, Dear Candace, so much gratitude for your razor sharp investigation and intuition. I am a board certified anesthesiologist with 25 years of clinical experience.
This person typed this but never showed proof.
And I have a solid grasp of anatomy. I agree with you and John Bray that the exploding mic theory is the best explanation of what we could grasp from the limited footage available. Briefly, number
How?
1, given the eruption of blood and or of a tissue emanating from Charlie's neck, it is clear that the large vessels of the neck, the left carotid artery and the jugular
Carotid,
vein
not
were
corroded.
transected. This kind of extrusion is more consistent with an exit wound. However, because large blood vessels were involved, we cannot rule out the possibility that a bullet entering his left neck would have resulted in what we saw. 2, if Charlie was shot from the rear and the bullet exited the left neck, it would most certainly do what was observed. However, there is no evidence that he was shot from behind.
Correct.
3, if Charlie was hit from the front, the momentum from the bullet would have sent his torso backwards.
Why would his torso go backwards if his neck is hit? You see his upper part of his body go backwards, but you mean his entire torso? Like, you got to imagine, there's like 200 pounds, center of gravity right underneath his rear. His center of gravity is much lower than where he was hit. You push somebody by their forehead, they're not likely to get pushed off. If you were to push Charlie by his stomach, he would have went backwards right off the chair. You push towards the center of gravity, it's easier to move somebody. When you're pushing away from the center of gravity, the higher up you go, the harder it is. The lower you go past the center of gravity, so down to his legs, if you were to try and pull him there, he's not likely to fall either because you're not messing with his center of gravity. This man's supposed to be a doctor, supposedly, and he doesn't know physics.
That is not what we saw. 4, a shaped charge in the Rode microphone would have sent a projectile from his R anterior chest upward and leftward, likely exiting from his left neck or entering his cervical spine. The projectile would have almost certainly damaged both lungs and possibly his heart. In other words, there would have been pulmonary hemorrhaging and possibly hemorrhaging around the heart as well.
True, but one huge issue with the theory of this being an exit wound, we don't see it go boom outward. We see it hit, and he stays there, and then it starts bleeding. If it were an exit wound, the blood would be immediate because it would have pushed the blood up and out with it. We would have seen a chunk fly out, and probably somebody in the audience would have at least been hit, sprayed, something. But that's not what happens. He gets hit, then there's a delay, and then the blood starts coming. That's what we see on video. That's very consistent with something lodging in there, then the blood needing to take time to pool and then spray out. If it were an exit wound, there would have been immediate spray because it would have accelerated the fluids up and outward. So that's a huge issue with this theory. Guyman for $2 says Candace Owens can't read. That is correct. She cannot read very well at all. Didn't I have another one? I didn't miss one, did I? Oh, it said I didn't like your... That's weird. I gave you a little heart on it. Weird. I thought I missed one. Thank God. That would have felt bad.
The exploding mic is thus the best fit from what we could see.
Notice the bottom of this email doesn't have any attachments to prove who he is, though.
Coroner reported. The bullet fragments, however, are a mystery. I suspect what was found was not bullet fragments, but the casing of the shaped charge, which would have served as the projectile.
How would it have mushroomed out?
I did want to say this, that piece right there about, I suspect, we just go up in that email that could have actually been from the...
Here's the thing, too. Why would a surgeon think that something went off in Charlie's belly and then travel upward? So it would have done this. Charge is here. Blow up. So everything comes out this way, right? That means everything on the other side goes in this way. Somehow, instead, it goes in this way, up, and then it turns around and curves back out. So it does this motion. It's like a C motion. You know what I mean? So it has to go in, up, out. And that's more likely than a 30-06. You're talking about a magic explosion now. There was a magic explosion that took place at Charlie. So now it has to go in, up, and then out. That's insane to think. Mama Owlbear for the 20 says, original leaker's liability. Whoever originally took the red mic or the med recorded number from the hospital and handed it over did violate HIPAA. Agreed. Hospital policies and computer access laws, which can mean firing, fines, and criminal prosecution. Exactly. However, Candace Owens openly shared Charlie Kirk's medical number. She could have blurred it out. To a degree, she is responsible for that, I believe. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be dead wrong about that. But I do think she's responsible for sharing his medical record. She didn't have to share that. She could have proven it without showing the medical number. And that in itself is illegal. So I wonder if she's got some explaining to do. Thank you so much for that 20, Mama Owlbear. I really appreciate that.
Shaped charge. I was asking my team that. I was going, why is the base assumption in this report, like when they send these tiny little fragments, 3 or 4 of which were unusable, pardon me, the ATF
What about the big
testified,
main
I
one?
think that they received 5 fragments, 4 were unusable, and 1 was big enough for them to use. Why is the base assumption that you're looking at a bullet?
Because it
So
mushroomed.
it's like telling somebody the answer, like, "Hey, this is a bullet fragment."
It
When we
mushroomed.
know that it's the same metal, it could have the same jacketing if you use a shaped charge. I was interested in that. It's something that
Maybe
yeah,
if
he
you use a piece of lead and shaped it into a bullet, then what would that? Oh yeah, it would still be a bullet, Candace. I don't know if you know this, but if you take all the same materials to make a bullet with, and then you shape it into a bullet, and then you put it behind an explosive charge, it's a bullet. I know she's dumb. But come on. What do you call it whenever you take a bullet and then you put it behind something different? Oh, it's no longer a bullet now all of a sudden. Oh yeah, it's still a bullet.
he is suspecting that what was found was not bullet fragments, but the casing of the shaped charge, which would have served as a projectile. I totally agree with that. He continues, no ambulance with resuscitative equipment or trained personnel immediately available.
Wait
no
a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean? There's an active shooting. They're not going to run out there. They can't do that. They can't do that at all. Do you not know, like, hospital staff, emergency staff, anybody who's in the medical field, they cannot jump in the middle of a mass incident that it could be taking place. During an active situation, they don't do that. They don't make themselves into victims because they have to be. They're the ones there with the knowledge to fix people. They're actually the most important people there during a mass incident. Because if, let's say, like 20 people get hit, if one medical person gets hit, they're not only down a medical person that can help, but also now they have to get aid to that medical person. That's very counterproductive. The medical people there, very much important. They're the healers of the group. Have you ever played like an online game, which we'll be checking out here this Saturday, guys? I'm going to be making a Candace Owens character in Final Fantasy XIV, and we're going to have some fun. But guess who's the most protected person? The healer. The healer is the most protected person. Because if your healer goes down, y'all die. Everybody dies. It's the same thing in the war. Like World War II. The medics were the most protected people. Why? Because if a warrior goes down, a medic may be able to save them, and now your soldier can get back onto the battlefield. That's incredibly important. It's just such common sense.
No access to IV drugs. He certainly sustained a neck injury, and his neck should have been stabilized before moving him. I think it wasn't
You don't
stabilized
get that luxury and
because they were
someone's shooting
hiding
at you.
what was on his shirt. It's
Do
my
you
opinion.
think in the middle of a war in World War II, they shot a guy and they were like, oh, hold on, we got to stabilize his neck. We've got to stabilize his neck. The war's off for a second. Hold on. Okay, now let's continue. This is some copium.
Given his injuries to the big blood vessels, he would have gone into hypovolemic shock, massive
probably.
blood loss within minutes, and would have required cardiac resuscitation, which meant that chest compressions would have been immediately required to restore blood circulation.
Instantly, this guy's not a surgeon. He's got an open wound, and now the surgeon is saying you have to do CPR. You have to do chest compressions. This isn't a surgeon. This is fake. Instantly debunked. Instantly debunked. Not a surgeon. A surgeon would know better. You cannot have a hole in your carotid artery and pump the rest of the blood out. That's what would happen. I learned this taking CPR classes at Google. I learned this, that you cannot do CPR on somebody with a gaping hole in them. There's no way this is a surgeon.
None of that was initiated at the scene and would have been nearly impossible to perform in
Unbelievable.
the back of an SUV. In my estimation, he was murdered from a shaped charge on his R chest, and his security
Why
team
would a
did their best
surgeon
in a
even
highly
say somebody's
rehearsed
got
fashion
blown
to
up?
get him the hell out of there before anybody could see what happened. Just going to stop that and say, this is somebody else's opinion. It is not mine. I am just
Well, it's not a
we'll stop
surgeon's
there.
opinion.
But yeah, you get the point. And I do believe that there is so much evidence there and that
wow.
that's what happened. That he
Oh,
got
now
hit
he's
by a
going.
shaped charge. And I
Baron
think
Coleman's
that
going for electrocution theory now.
was no
This
gun
is
on the rooftop.
pathetic.
There was a person who was told to run, and so that they could blame another decoy. Everybody's looking at Losey, and we are being lied to. I think we all agree. That's why you're here, right? This next person said that they're a transplant coordinator. Previously a scrub nurse in the OR for years, and I worked at a level 1.
This is a nurse, and a transplant coordinator is somebody who doesn't actually do transplants. They're probably scheduling people. So she's in charge of scheduling transplants. I'm pretty sure I've got that right. Let me see. Is a nurse position. Yes, a transplant coordinator position is most often a registered nurse position, though it can occasionally be held by other qualified health professionals like a physician's assistant, so less than a registered nurse. A physician's assistant is, I believe you can go in there as an LPN or lower. I'm not sure though. Yeah, you may actually be a tech and can get that position. Hospitals and medical centers typically list the job as a registered nurse transplant care coordinator because the work requires deep clinical judgment, patient assessment, and direct medical management. Okay. Core duties are they manage patient evaluations, oversee organ wait lists, educate families, and coordinate long-term post-transplant care. Okay, there you go. So yeah, that's what they do. This nurse is not going to be qualified to judge anything in this situation. I know my wife is a registered nurse, and she would never dare. And I've asked her, I said, what are your thoughts on a lot of this stuff? 9 times out of 10, it's, I actually don't know. I'm not trained in any of this. So, yeah. Registered nurse, not going to cut it that much. There are certain things that registered nurses will know, for sure. This ain't going to be one of them.
On trauma center, I have scrubbed in on more gunshot wounds than I could ever count. I've never seen thoracic trauma or hemorrhaging, for that matter, in a gunshot wound to the head or neck. There would have to have been a blunt force trauma to the chest, which would make a lot of sense if his microphone exploded under his shirt.
What? What? This lady has never seen any wounds to the neck ever. She's never seen that before. I don't believe her for a second. And she's a transplant coordinator. A scrub nurse is nothing, by the way. A scrub nurse? Like, specifically, what is a scrub nurse? Like, what is a scrub nurse? Like, what is that? Is that still a thing? A specialized nurse or licensed practical nurse who works in a sterile area of an operating room. So she's already operating on somebody who has their wounds completely. Like, she's in the operating room. She's not in the emergency room where they stop the bleeding. Oh my God. Why is it she's looking at a wound that is already completely, like, pretty much cauterized? That is crazy. Savikwitch for $2. Imagine if Candace Owens was your lawyer, I'd accept that I just lost. I wouldn't even waste money. I would go no lawyer. Before I ever hired Candace Owens on to speak for me, I 1,000,000% would just speak for myself. Naragos for the $10 says, once again, if this was done by evil James Bond villain organization, why would they bother with decoys? If they are all so powerful, why they wouldn't care. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that 10, man. I appreciate it. This is crazy.
Also, I was yelling at the TV when I was watching Baron's podcast the other day regarding the autopsy. It
course
takes
you were.
at least 8 hours for your deep core body temperature to reach 40 degrees in a morgue cooler. The timeline would only support about 3 hours in the morgue, depending on how much time Erica spent with him when she arrived. And that's if his body was ever taken to the morgue. Nothing about the case makes any sense, and it's infuriating.
What do you?
Thank God for
you're
all of your hard
theorizing,
work,
lady.
Max. Justice for Charlie. That was interesting
what?
too.
Baron's podcast the other day regarding the autopsy. It takes at least 8 hours for your deep core body temperature to reach 40 degrees in a morgue cooler. That depends on the morgue cooler. Are all morgue coolers set to the exact same temperature? I bet some are nicer than others. I bet some work better than others. And I bet some are faster than others. And I also bet it probably matters on how many bodies are in the morgue. Because if there's a lot of them, it has to work harder to make them cold. If there's not very many at all, it's going to be very easy to make one body cold. That just depends. And did they ever give a time frame and a temperature in any of what he went over? I guess I'll have to go over that. But what is she talking about?
I told you the speed of the autopsy is incredible. We were looking this up, and it is true that the protocol is to bring the body down to 40 degrees in the morgue. Usually,
I haven't heard anything about Ben's
things
daughter.
do not happen by morning time. You're
As of
prepared to be shipped, especially in a case this big. Why wouldn't you want to do the most thorough autopsy of all time? And that wasn't the circumstance here. It was rushed, but we did look up, even though it's not normal, doesn't follow normal protocol, it certainly isn't illegal to just instantly dive into doing an autopsy. The body, it's capable of doing that within, I think, what was it, 12 hours? 12 hours before they start to get decomposition. We were looking that up. So the body wouldn't have decomposed, but it's just not what they usually do. Everything was extraordinary. Like they just rushed it. And when you do the timeline of how quickly that all had to happen, it's insane. Why? Why would you want that rushed?
Why can't you prove
Why
any
would
of
you
this
want that
happened?
rushed?
Prove it?
I think we all know why you would want that rushed.
No, you're guessing why it was rushed, and you're guessing why she would want it rushed, and you're guessing that it was rushed in general anyway, but you don't actually know.
I'm going to read one more of these comments actually from doctors that were writing on YouTube. One writes, I am a surgeon based on the medical examiner's report, the trajectory.
Ruth, May 4th, 5933. Oh, I wonder who this is. Who is that? Let's take a look real quick. We're going to go over here and we're going to type in, oh, I guess I already know. Andrew Wilson. Let's see. Ruth, May 4th, 5933, as well as Wild Geese 5707. Both of these medical examiner profiles are mine. LMFAO. And now she's going to read this out loud. This is hilarious.
From the Ruth is not possible. Charlie was hit in the low neck. The medical examiner's report said much of his cervical spine was traumatically gone, and that the left side of C2 to C7 was obliterated. To have affected up to C2, it would have had to have been an upward trajectory from the point of entry on his neck.
So funny. It actually does.
I heard a podcaster, Project Constitution, say that Charlie was also wearing a Rode transmitter at his left waist. If this had a shaped charge, the trajectory would make sense for entering the low neck and hitting his cervical spine. Tend to agree with you. I'm Team
Do
Rode
ya?
Mike.
You agree with Andrew Wilson there? It's amazing, isn't it? Andrew Wilson got her to fall for this, and now she's coping bad. Isn't that crazy? It's really funny, to be honest. Here's the deal, Candace. Like, this is what's funny. Let's say the bullet comes in and it goes straight at the C3. The amount of energy that bullet had would have blown apart the C2 above it. And if it deflected downward, it would have taken every other vertebrae down with it until it stopped. What else do you want, Candace? What else do you want? Guys, please hit that like and subscribe button. I genuinely appreciate y'all being here.
For everything that I've seen, I am Team Rode Mike. So,
Oh, well, never mind. Unsubscribe
Anyway,
then. I see how it is.
I will take a really quick break here.
It's because it went down.
And we will come back with some of your comments and
All right, let's hear it.
thoughts. See today I'm offered for well on loan versus has smart law finance 100 concrete evidence. I want to remind you guys that there is still zero concrete evidence that has been produced that there was ever even a gun on the Losey Center. I have to remind you, this is how they do things. It's a psychological game. They want you to fill in the blanks. They actually produce no evidence. They just keep saying
evidence.
gunshot, and you
can
go,
see
okay,
it.
well, I saw a person running on the roof, so he must have been the person who shot it. And actually, when we went back and we had showed you that guy who recorded and said,
You know there are timestamps, right?
the only person to capture who was on campus who captured before the sound, I now refer to as a sound because they kept telling us gunshot, went off, he says that he sees someone up on the roof right there. He doesn't say, it's remarkable, he recalled in detail the military moves and saw him getting into position. What he did not say, however, was that he saw a man with a gun get into that position. So if he observed...
Why would he see a man with a gun in that position if somebody doesn't want that gun to be seen in that position? Think real hard about it. That's her thinking face right there. That's her hardcore thinking face.
A person military crawling, which has been proven true, and he saw this person get down and into a position and then whipped out his phone to record it. Don't you think the first thing he would have said was, I just saw somebody with a gun on the roof?
But if he didn't see a gun, why would he think that?
Listen to what he actually says. Again, this is recorded seconds before the sound of an explosive went off. Take a listen.
Get right up.
The sound of an explosive. Couldn't have been the sound of a bullet.
You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying.
Why would he see a weapon?
Where's my finger? Whoa.
See what he's doing laying on the roof is he's attaching that scope. So he's going to have it laying down. It's going to be below him. Notice how there's like a whole half of him that you can't see? It's because the vantage point there is down. He's down. Half of his body from all the way down here is not visible. He's laying the gun down, and he's sitting there screwing it in. He doesn't want people to see it.
Ran in. And now he's right there.
Show this guy showing him fire it.
Just saying.
See how you stop it before he pulls the trigger? I bet there's at some point in that video, if he kept recording, you would have seen him raise a rifle up.
And then he stops recording, and then he hears a bang, and then...
Yeah, how did that happen? How did that happen, Candace?
And he's going, oh, and then news is saying Charlie Kirk was shot with a gun from someone on Losey Center, and he's thinking, oh, I saw the person who shot him on Losey Center. I'm going to take this to the police station. And
yeah, he actually does call after he hears the shot, and then he hears what happened. He goes, oh my gosh, that might have been the guy. And so then he does call the police, and then he just does describe the guy on top of the building. But, you know, he wasn't thinking. He didn't go ask around to see if that guy was allowed to be up there or anything like that. But, I mean, look, that's called the bystander effect. That is so common. I'm not going to blame the guy for falling into the bystander effect, because 9 out of 10 people fall into the bystander effect. They see something weird, but they chalk it up as, well, if he wasn't supposed to be up there, he wouldn't be allowed to be up there anyway, and then they walk off. Or someone else will take care of it, or someone else will report it. You know, that's normal people. You can't blame people for that, because people aren't all-knowing. So it's very, very, very common for the bystander effect to take place.
Report this. But the idea that there was ever a gun on that rooftop of Losey Center, that's narrative. That's not a fact. And I do not believe that there was a gun. Least of all do I believe that it was Tyler Robinson's gun.
I just don't care what you believe, Candace. That does not bother me in the slightest. Don't care.
Which has dust on the barrel and his prints as the most degraded that was on that rooftop. You might have gotten me if you said it was a handgun, because then we wouldn't be expecting to see it. But,
Candace, you're an idiot.
But a German 98 Mauser, it's completely ridiculous. So I just wanted to remind you of that. This is what they keep doing. That same influencer overwhelm
Candace,
campaign.
It's only about...
it's constantly telling you not to believe
that
your
firearm is about the same length as my guitar here. And I guarantee you I could get this up on that roof without you ever seeing. It's not difficult. Are you kidding me? And you think like, if this was here, you know, definitely they would have seen it for sure. No. No, not at all. And you don't believe that they would have taken a firearm up there? Then what's the point of him getting up there? What's the point of him being a decoy like that? That doesn't make sense. Mimi's for the $5 says, or €5, I should say, saw on an interview on Julian Dory's channel with a forensic expert that explained very well how Charlie Kirk's injuries made sense. Maybe you could react to it. I should do that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, since Candace Owens won't be streaming. I'll figure out, we'll watch the rest of the Andrew debate, which is only like 20 more minutes of it. And then we could just jump right in over on that. And then I also have a Cam Higbee video too. So we could have a crazy day of reacting to a bunch of different stuff tomorrow. On Saturday, me and my buddy Kai, we're going to be playing some Final Fantasy XIV on here, and we're going to create Candace Owens-like characters. He's going to create possibly a Project Constipation character. I don't know if we'll do that or not. We'll see where it goes. It'll be really funny.
Own eyes. We will fill in the blanks and tell you what you see. And that's why they were so angry this week when we dropped that video. Because people got to see with their own eyes and go, wow, where did Tyler Robinson learn those moves? Someone even pointed out.
Yeah, where did he learn how to scoot on his butt?
The bravery it takes.
What a crazy
to just
amount
jump
of
off of a
education.
rooftop that you haven't tried doing that before. Have you measured the roof? Like, I mean, have you ever been out with your friends and just tried to jump off of a cliff into water below?
Yeah.
Like how much effort, you're like terrified. You look below a couple times.
No. With your kids, you're stupid. You jump into things of water. We had a really, really nice kid that we actually knew who ended up passing away. He did a backflip off of a cliff over at, I think it was Blue Hole. I think it was somewhere around Blue Hole, and he passed away. Hit his head right on the bottom of a rock. There was one girl out at Blue Hole as well where a bridge had collapsed, and part of that bridge went right down to the main part of Blue Hole. When she jumped in, there was a rebar sticking right up, and it went right between the legs. It was terrible. There are many incidents where that happens, Candace. So yeah, a lot of people actually do just jump off, and then a lot of them actually don't wake back up. In the girl's situation, she did survive. The male did not. I'm not going to say his name out loud. It's a crazy situation.
This person just sprints, has it, lands, keeps going.
Yeah, he probably was not as concerned for his own life in that moment when he took somebody else's.
Where did he learn that? What was
that
in
as a
that Chick-fil-A sandwich?
I went up on the Blockbuster
One of the
roof
greatest
all
mysteries.
the time when I was a
What
kid.
did he order at Chick-fil-A?
Because they left their ladder down.
Anyway,
You
top
just
comments from
scale
last
it.
episode. GI6791 writes, the fact that he'll take the time to mock you, referring to Andrew Colvett, won't take the time to answer your questions. Well, it says it all.
He did answer her questions for a while, and then she kept twisting his answers. They're done with that.
What says it all also is just how angry they are. How
What are
angry.
you talking about?
You're telling us that you're Charlie's best friends. You know everything
You accused them of killing him.
about this guy. You see that and you don't
You
go,
accused
wow,
them
that's
of killing
really
him.
weird. I'm starting to think that there may have been some more people involved. I want some more answers.
Well,
Hey,
God knows
Candace,
you're going to
thank
add
you
more
so
people to
much
this every day.
for releasing that footage. I really didn't know what to think when you were saying that somebody said there was military movements, but this changes the game. No, they're angry.
Oh, they're so, yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you make stuff up, Candace?
Here's, we scrolled through 367 hours of your podcast. Here are the words you mispronounced, so nobody should listen to you or watch that video. What? Are you good? Are you sober? Chrissy writes, no footage of anyone pulling a gun out of their pants, but lots of evidence of Turning Point USA pulling another narrative out of their butts. Yeah, and they're going to keep doing
you
that.
can tell yourself that
They're going
if you
to
want.
keep doing that. By the way, I think my favorite comment came from A. Ray 4544 regarding the ridiculousness of telling us that we don't have a right to ask a question of
Nobody said
where
that.
Charlie Kirk buried. This user wrote, we can be mailed private love letters that Charlie wrote to Erica that he expected no one to see as a fundraiser material, yet we can't know if he's cremated, yes or no.
I don't recall
Sure,
that.
Dan.
But guess what?
That's it. That's
Whatever information they decide to make public, they are allowed to make public. And whatever information they deem they don't want to be public doesn't have to be public. It's crazy. It's almost like it's their own lives and they get to decide what to tell people and what not to tell people. It's amazing, Candace. You're not telling us what your address is. You're not telling us what vehicle you drive. You think that's none of our business. You don't want to tell us where your grandpa's buried at, but you expect TPUSA to tell you their addresses, their vehicle information, their private information, where Charlie Kirk's buried at and everything. It's unbelievable how hypocritical you are.
it's ridiculous. How dare you ask that question? Can I have anything? Yeah, how about keep the love
They
letters?
didn't say, how dare you ask the question.
wrote
They
to
said
you.
none of your business.
By the way, as I said, you start to notice that trend. I wish I had pulled it in today. That every time Erica ever posts or shares something about Charlie, it's actually her sharing something about herself.
Prove it.
Like Charlie's like, you're amazing, I love you, and she shares it. Erica, you're the best person. Erica, you're so...
No, you're right. You're right. Charlie Kirk married Erica Kirk, and every day Charlie Kirk, instead of saying you're amazing and you're the best and I love you, he actually was like, I don't like you, you're ugly, and I hate you. Yeah, you're right, Candace. That's just so much more likely, isn't it? Definitely just Erica Kirk saying that only about herself. Charlie Kirk never ever said that he loved her. He never loved her. He was never into her or anything. He just decided, I don't know, I'm just going to marry someone I don't like. That's insane. That's a wild claim.
Smart. And then she shares it as if she's sharing Charlie, but she's actually saying, look at how much Charlie thought I was amazing, and you guys should think I'm amazing too. And I also reflected on even that moment, and I did not think this at the time, because I was just in the stage of grief. And
She's
like
so
I said,
mad
in
that
that
she
moment,
didn't
I
have
feel
Charlie
like
to herself.
at the memorial, I needed something from Erica. I was just
so
like,
disgusting.
oh, we're all going to be fighting together. But when you reflect on that moment, which they sold to us and which many of us, myself included, believe was this demonstration of the deepest and truest kind of Christianity, because she said, I forgive him.
Cool.
In retrospect, what Erica was doing was so evil. She was actually
really?
saying,
It's evil to do what the Bible says, guys. Hear it from Candace Owens herself.
I convict Tyler Robinson, not forgive.
That's not what she said. She said, I forgive. She never said, I convict.
I convict.
Nope.
She didn't have any idea that he had done it.
Yes, she did. She had a pretty good idea. You know why? He was in jail. He'd confessed to it. We knew he had confessed to it at that time, too. I'd say that's a pretty decent inkling that he did it. You know what I mean? I think that's somewhat of a hint.
Had him. She hadn't seen any evidence.
They arrested him and said he confessed, and the Discord leaks came out. Yes, there was evidence at that time.
That herself, maybe the assumption was that she did, that she went to UVU when they showed her. No. She got on that stage, she put on a performance, and she said, I convict this man.
No, she didn't. She never said, I convict this man.
I send this man to his death.
No, she didn't. She never said that.
That's the reality.
That's not.
That is the reality.
No, that's you making
Anyway,
stuff
some
up.
comments that you guys have for us on today's episode. Renee writes, Charlie was killed soon after I lost my husband. I reached out to his first wife, and your show bonded us. Today is her birthday. We both always stay home, so I don't see her. Please wish Suzanne a happy birthday. We love you and all your hard work for Charlie. God bless you and your family. Happy birthday to Suzanne. And thank you for that comment. True Detective writes, in the words of the late Prince, and honey, I say, little dread, Colvette baby, you lied too fast. Oh, little dread Colvette, you need some bull that's going to last. Now the 80s have turned against turning points. Yeah, there's where I think we're all kind of just wondering how long they're going to keep it up for. How long is this going to go on? Is you just demanding people get arrested? That's the stage you're at? You're like late stage crazy? People who know the truth and are sharing the truth?
Yeah, that would be crazy. I couldn't imagine anybody just demanding someone's arrest.
There is why it is impossible for me to think that Erica Kirk is not complicit somehow. Straight to jail for questioning at least Erica. I have seen enough, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen enough. Erica Kirk should be dragged into a police precinct for questioning. Like I said, the amount of evidence that is now piling up, I would say against Erica Kirk.
I mean, it's just crazy, right? Crazy. She's like, oh, they're calling for me to go to jail. Yeah, you called for Erica Kirk to go to jail first.
Arrest them. Raid their homes. Okay.
What's the context of it? Why would we want you to do that?
These people undoubtedly suffer anxiety.
Why do we want you to go to jail?
Who specifically you're speaking about?
You don't want to
Turning
say.
Point USA there. Mal writes, I've heard you say a few times that God only gives us what we can handle, but that isn't true. God will always give us more than we can handle, because then we will need to turn to him for his help. He wants us to come to him. Blessings to you. Christ is king. No, I think, but the point is like, it's more than you can handle, then you can handle it. Right. And if you get through it, man, you're stronger. You get strengthened by it. So
notice how she took God out of it, though. Notice how the person straight up said, God gives you more than what you can handle, so you turn to God for help. And she goes, well, if you get through it, then clearly you could handle it. Clearly it was all you. Notice how she just took that comment and smacked it back. It was like, no, God doesn't help you. Isn't that weird how that slips out of her? She really is anti-Christian. She's a fake Christian.
Christ is king. No, I think, but the point is, like, it's more than you can handle, then you can handle it, right?
Notice that? Straight up telling people, no, God's not involved. Interesting. Please, James O'Keefe, investigator. That would be amazing. And I hope James O'Keefe could pull something like that.
If you get through it, man, you're stronger. You get strengthened by it. So even if at the time you're in it and you don't think that it is helping and you're on your knees just being like, please stop.
Whole Truth for $2 says, criminal defense lawyer here. Let's do a show together. Hey, we should. Heck yeah. I would absolutely love to have an attorney on here. Why not? That'd be a good time. We could definitely work something out, man.
That was how I felt. Like,
Thank you
I
for
just
that.
remember the trip to Russia was where I was going, okay, I'm having, this is my breaking point. There was so much that was going on in my life in just this, you know, the Charlie assassination, obviously, at the end of last year, followed by me then having to contend with the fight, with realizing that they were all fighting me because I wasn't, I don't know, in the cartel, so to speak. And I just then had to process that parts of my life were a lie, that Charlie's life was a lie, and that I was going to have to go to battle with all of these people. That's enough.
Yep, everybody, every single person that you burn bridges with. It's crazy how you only make enemies, you don't make friends. Carol Fisher for the $10. Thank you so much for that. Very nice of you. Didn't say anything, but thank you.
To completely break you. Then
this?
I actually broke my foot, like actually on Friday the 13th, like around the same time that like I found out that I was pregnant. Then
George
I
Farmer
had
tripped over
a
her foot after
cancer
she punched him in
scare,
the eye.
by the way, just to be clear. It's
Broke
way
her foot,
past
that'd
it.
be so
Everything's totally fine.
No, she kicked him
But
in
I
the eye
had,
socket.
it was just one of
Snapped her
those
foot.
appointments that then turned into a second appointment and some later testing, which always then just takes too long to come back from the lab. And I was just like, I can't take anymore. And we're sitting here waiting for these results to come back. It was for
attorney too?
thyroid.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
could have
also a
an
very
attorney
survivable
panel
cancer.
here.
But
That would be crazy.
and then we're going to Russia. I'm like, okay, I can get away, totally get away. Then, you know, the president of the United States like tweets by face. It's like most vile person
you're still
of
on
the
that?
year.
You're still
For
upset
no
about
reason.
him
We were
tweeting
not
the
talking
ugliest
about Trump
picture
on the
of you on the
show, so
internet?
that seemed totally sideways and crazy. And then I get to Russia and my
She's
security member literally almost dies. And I just remember at this point being like, okay, God, far be it from me. You know, far be it from me.
Her battery just randomly died and shut off? Oh, but that can't happen, Candace. You said so yourself. Mary Jean Blair for the $2 super sticker. Thank you.
To say anything, but this feels passive aggressive. This is starting to feel. Do we
You said
have
she
what
found out she
did
was
I do?
pregnant
Let's
from the
talk
broken
or
foot.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then you
Put a break
reflect
off in
on it. You get through it, and you realize like everything happens for a reason. You can take on so much more than you think you can take on. And at those moments, it's like you're just being strengthened. Like it's like going to a gym, and this is a terrible, obviously, analogy, but you're so sore and everything hurts, but it makes you stronger. Like doing those exercises makes you stronger. And now I just feel so fashioned. And like I say to you guys, I feel like Charlie's fighting with us. I just keep saying that. I feel like he is fighting with us right now. And so.
Oh, he's fighting with you.
Yeah. God does
Oh,
give
he's
you more than
certainly
you can
fighting
handle,
with
but
you.
like also doesn't give you more than you can handle because you come out the other side
I have
of it.
no doubt he's fighting with her.
Seven Sheets writes, I am amazed and amused by the oh so prolific naysayers.
If you were to say
to
Charlie Kirk is fighting with Candace Owens, how would you picture that going down?
line with
I think
maybe
she told no
one
lies.
of your reach and believers. They're crazy, but they seem so tough enough to open a jar of pickles, if you know what I mean. I'm here with you and God bless. Yeah, they're just insane. And there's something also just extraordinarily like gay, like 90s gay about like men that do that full time online. It's just like, I'm
What
like,
is
stop.
90s gay?
Like, stop being a woman. Like, let us do that. When you see these guys like, Candace said this. Candace, debate me, Candace. Candace, look at me, Candace. I'm like, ew. Like the sissy culture of men online. When men podcast, they can't podcast like women. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I guess. Cool. All right. CCAC for, or CAC, cake, maybe? I don't know. For $20 says, I'd never give Candace a dime. She's a loon. I'll give it to you. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. You guys are absolutely amazing. So who are you going to say that's acting 90s gay? I want to know. This is great.
If you're going to be a man and you're going to podcast, like, and they kind of carved out the podcast space, but who was it? It was the military bros. It was like Joe Rogan having on like UFC fighters. They were talking about their diet and their exercise. And you're like, oh, that's a man podcast. Now we have these like sissies who are like, did you hear what Candace said yesterday? Oh, did you hear what Candace? And please don't do that. It's so gross.
Cool.
It's so gross. I hate looking at these men. It bothers me deeply.
You are watching
they're
us.
all
That's great.
Emmanuel Macron. Don't act like Emmanuel
That's
Macron.
so funny.
Act like Brigitte. You know? Be a man.
It's so
Art of
funny.
Savagery
She
writes,
does
God
watch
bless
us.
every single person who has spoken up or offered.
I don't want to have to watch you guys, and it's like, oh, yeah, apparently you do. You got nothing better to do? Well, you can't just enjoy making up your theories and then coming out here and blasting it and then staying off the internet? Crazy stuff. Carol Fisher for the 10 there says, she will reap what she sows in this life or the next. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever you sow, you will reap. Candace. I agree with that. For sure. Thank you so much for that, 10. I really appreciate it.
Offered assistance in this investigation, including those who will speak out in the near future. To God be the glory. Rest peacefully, Charlie. Your David has got this. Well, that is a perfect place to end today's episode. Also,
Yeah, she's
reminding you
married
if you
to a
want to
very
support
manly
our
man.
work. We have book club tomorrow, so we'll be meeting. And we also have
Great.
merch available on the website. It's the easiest way to support us is to buy a mug, buy a Standis cup, buy a T-shirt, join the
Buy a
book
Make
club,
America
allow
Candace
us
Again
to
merch.
stay free.
The
We'll
Candace
stay free either way.
Investigation
I'm not going back
Association.
into any sort
I'm
of
surprised it's not
institution, but
Candace is
we
King
have
on
great
the
stuff.
shirt. Wouldn't that be crazy to go to her website and it'd say Candace is King instead of Christ
I
is
love all
King?
of our merch right now.
Like what if, right? I haven't checked it out. Where's her merch store? Can we go? Let's go check out your merch. Here we go, Candace merch. What if it did say that? Christ is King t-shirt. See how it says this? And when people argue with me, like it says Christ is King here, okay? And when people argue with me, yeah, down here, Christ is King as well. But when you get to the Candace Owens hat, let's see. I guess I'll have to search it. Here we go. Maca hat, Maca green dad hat. And then down here it says Make America Candace again. Candace. There you go. Candace. And in case that's hard to see too, just without it, Make America Candace again. Crazy how that works. Huh? Come down here. And I live to boycott Candace Owens. Huh? That's it. What? That's the opposite of a boycott. What? Such a weird thing to say. But does anybody think it is? They're saying Christ is King wearing it. How's that trial info working out? LMFAO. High quality, beautiful, looks good on men and women. Very slow getting into this Australia. I like that color of the hat, though. It's a good color. I would wear a green like that, but not with Maca. I don't want to make anything about America Candace. Anyway, hold on one second here. We got, you guys are throwing in super chats like crazy. We have Essayan, for $10 saying, thank you, Artie, for making watching clips of the unbearably idiotic Candace tolerable. Thank you so much for being here to enjoy this with me, guys. I could not do it without you guys. I promise I could not do this without y'all. That'd be, that'd be torture. Mackenzie for the $5 says, God will not be mocked. Absolutely. Yeah, Candace playing a dangerous game, isn't she? Very dangerous game. But, that's the way she's been. Just the way she is. Yeah, crazy stuff. Well, now we're at the end of her stuff. I was kind of hoping that it would be Candace is King or something like that. That would have been funny. Is there any other things? Let's just... Candace Intelligence Agency and stuff like that. Texas Motherbird for her monthly membership message saying, just wanted to say we love you, Artie. Well, I love you guys too. You all are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being here and supporting the channel, guys. You guys are unbelievably nice. I don't know how I got to this point. It's literally like I woke up and all of a sudden there's people here. It's so weird. It's definitely bizarre. Am I a furry too? No. No. I used to cosplay for fun way back when I was a kid. I had a big old cloak thing and dressed up like a member from Organization 13. From Kingdom Hearts. I have the full Keyblade and everything. It's a little beat up. But yeah, I got look at that. That would have been a cool Keyblade to have. That's pretty much what I wore when I went to Tokyo and Tulsa. That used to be a fun thing to go to. I need to go to it again one day. I don't know. It's super woke. This is the Keyblade that I have right here, except mine looks even better than that. I had somebody on eBay made it so crazy good. Before I get off here, guys, Let me show you guys that. I'll be right back. Let me grab it. I'm gonna show you. This thing ever. Look at that. I haven't seen this thing probably. Well, I mean, I've seen it since I moved last, but 4 years ago when I moved into this place, I moved it around. This thing's crazy. I've done a lot of damage to it by accident. Just moving over the years has done a lot of damage. But this person who made this, I bought this thing for like $300 back like 10, 15 years ago. Couldn't tell you who made it. And I've never been able to find anybody who has made such a realistic, like, version of one of these. I have no idea. I wish I could tell you guys. But I thought it was one of the coolest things ever made. I really should hang this up somewhere or get it, like, repaired. It is pretty heavily damaged from moving several places. Even the keychain like broke off, and this is like all pointy at the end here. I think I actually slammed it in the trunk. I thought everything was secure, and I brought the trunk down, I think, right on it from my old car. But yeah. My I'll show you why my subs are going up so fast real quick, guys. I'll show you exactly why. This short right here is taking off like crazy. Like crazy. 154,000 views, apparently. Oh, somebody sent a super chat here. Hold on, I think. Oh, no, that super chat just lasts a super long time. My bad. Okay, good. I didn't want to miss anything. Okay, Patrina. Hold on. I didn't miss any more. Okay, Texas Motherbird there. Patrina sent a monthly member chat as well. Appreciate everything you do. Well, I appreciate you guys, too. Thank you so much, Patrina. I appreciate that. Or did I read that right? Yeah, Patrina, Rich. I wanted to make sure I didn't say Patricia. Or it was supposed to say Patricia. As a palate cleanser? All right, let's take a look at this. We'll take a look here, Madness.
You have freed me from the lamp. You now have 3 wishes. Anything your heart desires.
I wish for a real lightsaber!
Hold on, too loud.
I don't think so. That never ends well.
Lightsaber! Lightsaber! Lightsaber!
Okay.
I can't believe it's a real lightsaber!
You can wish for my freedom. You have freed me from the lamp. You now...
Okay, that's a pretty good... I like that. That's a pretty funny one. Heck yeah. Good little palate cleanser, man. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Alrighty, guys. Alrighty. I'm going to get rid of the sub counter here so I can return that back over to its proper place. Oh, my stream crashed. That's good. Perfect timing. Let's see here. I'm going to go through all the people who donated here real quick. And let's see. We have GN for the 20. Thank you so much. By the way, GN, I did receive your email. I responded back to you. We'll go over that. Just wanted to put that out there. Jody for the $5. Velvet Lace for the 3. Randy Donna for the 5. Sabbatic Witch for the 2. We have Lynn Pell becoming a troll. Edie Marie gifting 5 troll memberships. Thank you so much for that, Edie. That's awesome. Glad you stopped by. People need to go over to her channel and check her out. She makes hilarious Candace Owens commentary and, or not commentary, parody. Hilarious Candace Owens parody. It's amazing. Wild and Wired Media for becoming a troll. Debbie Rock 88 for the $2. We have Robert Stubblefield for the $10. I imagine you to be incredibly British for some reason. And I think that just works. Pat the Plumber for $5. Love My Aussie for 2. Jesus Freak of 2000 for 2. I will be trying that sushi place, by the way. I will try to find that. Mimi's for €2. Eric Goss for 5 Bobucks. calling them that still. I'm still wanting to do. I need to really focus on what currency's coming through so that way I can make fun of it appropriate. Fat Samurai for the $5. Guyman for the $2. Mama Owlbear for the $20. Sabbatic Witch for the $2. Eric Goss for the 10. Mimi's for the 5. Whole Truth for the 2. And yes, we will definitely get some sort of attorney thing going on here. That'd be great to talk to you guys about that stuff. Carol Fisher for the 10. Mary Jean Blair for the 2. Carol Fisher for the 10 again. Essayan for, or Essian for the 10. And Mackenzie Moore for the 5. Thank you all so much. Nobody ever has to donate. Nobody's ever required or anything like that. Mainly, I mainly care about likes and subscribes because no matter what, that just takes the channel further and further. I genuinely appreciate y'all being here. For those who did donate, though, everyone that I read out, I do it for a reason because it's above, like just way above kindness that nobody's ever required to give. And the fact that you all would do that is incredible. Thank you so much. Like, I just don't know how to respond to kindness like that. I really don't. It's new for me. I really appreciate it. I like how all my shorts are only Candace Owens related, but I only upload a short like once a month or so. And then I got all these Casey Tron ones and all this. And oh yeah, the debate. We should go over some of these. These were so fun. I got some of the craziest shorts here. Found the Red Ranger. That one was a fun video too right here. That was a great one. Absolutely enjoyed it. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Seriously, I could not have done this without you guys. And yeah, we're going to have some fun tomorrow. We're going to stream tomorrow and we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a really good time. A really good time over here on Artie Trolls. I heard that he's a troll, but not really a troll. I don't know why that guy would name his channel like that. What a moron. I don't know. Thank y'all again, guys, and I'll see you all here in the next one. Later.